Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is Thursday night, and what does that mean? We are live, ladies and gentlemen. So
that's right.
I'm
We're live.
Dave,
Dixie Dave.
Crusher Crossen over here.
Yep. And it's good to see you again, Dave. I know you had some fabulous concerts that you were seeing all throughout Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's concert season here in Minnesota. I mean, there's been so many good concerts here, and I've gotten to attend a couple of good ones. I mean, come on, who doesn't like Metallica? Who doesn't like Def Leppard and Journey?
All those 80s bands.
Come on.
And I featured a lot of that stuff in all of the... if you guys aren't subscribed to my Instagram channel, you got to subscribe to that. I post a lot of NWF stuff there. Put all sorts of teasers for this one tonight on Instagram. And I use, and Instagram lets us use that music, so I pick all those classic songs, how it related to the guys back in the day. It was fun. I like doing those kind of things, adding to our story. But yeah, this is a fun night.
Crusher,
what's that?
Crusher, speaking of videos, we've had a video really blow up lately, haven't we?
From this show we're going to watch tonight. The opener in there. Yeah, I always do a promo, a pre-match promo to everything that we put on the video network. And this, of course, the Superstar Spectacular 87 Armory card that went up on the network. And that's why we're doing the watch along. And I put a preview match and I picked the opener. Terry Cosnapple just went in the Hall of Fame, Invader 4. And Joe Hoffman, Disco Kid. And I put that up there and it blew up. It was one of those ones that went viral. In fact, let me show you what it did here, guys, before we get into the show. Just real quick, I'll put it up on the screen. So this is the kind of the behind the scenes showing you what the algorithm's doing. It's still climbing, so it's not done yet. But it's at currently 13,000 views. It hasn't even been a week. 339 watch hours and 125 subscribers. So we're real pleased with that. You never know when this is going to happen. It just kind of randomly happens with YouTube, and there's no. If I could figure this out, I'd be a genius. But it's never really. There's no rhyme or rhythm to how this happens. But when it does, it's fun. It's not, Dave. It's not exactly viral like a lot of channels can go, but it's what I call mini viral for us. It's good for us.
Well. Yeah. That's why I use the term it blew up.
Yeah.
Because, most of our videos, we're lucky to hit, 500 views.
Yeah. 300 to 500 views is average for us for stuff we put up.
But this thing hitting 13, come on, we were talking earlier this morning, and you told me it was at like 11,000.
I know, and that's already gained a couple. See, that's the thing, though. When they start going, they start kind of slow, but then they'll just climb. They can really climb fast. And, some of the people commenting, of course, you're getting, I've noticed some of the comments coming in and there have been stuff like, these adults that let these kids do this, shame on them. They should, they could have got hurt. We got some of that. You're going to, when you get a video that gets this kind of wide exposure, you're going to get some of that stuff. It just comes with the territory.
But what do you and I always say? No press is bad press,
right? And so to each their own. Everybody has their own opinion, so so be it.
If you like us, watch us. If you don't like us, don't watch it.
Just don't watch it. Right? Just there's tons of stuff on YouTube you can watch that. I want to get caught up on some of the comments here, guys. Gizmo says, hope you guys are watching Wrestling Revolution with Keaton this week. Absolutely. Awesome show. We had a great, it was supposed to be Ben and Jordan Nelson, but they couldn't make it, scheduling issue. And so I got a hold of Ricky, with like 29 minutes. I said, hey, can you help us out? And he's like, sure, give me 2 minutes. And he was in. And boy, I'll tell you something. He came in character. It was great. As a matter of fact, like Gizmo says here, Canary Kid went off on Crusher and started putting him down for asking a stupid question. Not just Crusher. I think Sky Sports Video News got that lashing too, and as well as Keaton. We were all getting it from Canary Kid, and but it was showing his pretty. And just so you guys know, it was all in character. When we went off air, we all talked, and it's like Ricky said, I just wanted to do something a little different for you guys to help you guys make it a little more entertaining. And that's what is this is the wrestling business, guys. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, absolutely. That was great. I loved it.
We are in the entertainment business. You
Yeah,
know, that's why sometimes I'll make a fool out of myself just to get a little laugh from the crowd.
as like we all do, right?
Yep.
Sky Sports Video News says, so much for Ricky and taking Dave's spot as co-host on the show. We love you, Dave. No, if Dave ever had to step out and I could get Ricky to do it, I wouldn't have a problem. Thing is, it would be hard to get Ricky to fill in though because of the time we do this show. This is 2 a.m. for him, and he would be sleeping, for the most part. And, as we talk,
yeah, and on top of that, with his wrestling career, academics, probably everything else going on that he's a busy young man.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he takes his education seriously. We talked about that. Like they have Kendo Nagasaki coming in to help train with them. Have a training session, big name, and Ricky's going to miss it because it's during school and he's not going to just leave school for that. So yeah, good for him though. To be thinking of school first. I wished I would have done that. I put the NWF first, folks. Maybe not the best idea, but well, it's all water under the bridge now, right?
Yep.
Says Damian Thorne says maybe we can get a match with Canary Kid versus Crusher. Now that would be a show. If I could get my old Crusher, and do it so we're at the proper age with each other. I'd love it. I don't think I could handle it anymore at this age,
No.
But
Dave and I, bumping into us.
Yeah, Dave and I have talked about it, and we're like, I don't know if we could do this. We'd love to try, but we would look like I'm the kind of guy, Dave. I don't want to look like a 65-year-old Ric Flair.
Exactly.
I want people to remember me for who I was. What I was back in the day.
Right.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm just gonna get finished up in our comments, Dave, and then we will start this show because it's a long one.
Oh yeah.
Sports Talk 117. I love all the new NWF videos posted. I noticed that the new higher quality video that you are getting a lot more hits and subs. Nice job. Yeah, like we just talked about that one that we that went kind of mini viral for us. It just happens sometimes, and when it does, it's awesome because it opens the floodgates to new viewers, people that either remember us or are getting introduced to us for the first time. So that's awesome. And when I say remember, it's not just from back in the day, but like when I did my book and DVDs, that was a little bit of a introducing the NWF era that people might still remember, all the ads in the magazines and stuff. Yeah. I see Wayne in the house here. It's great to see you, Wayne. He says, I still think it's crazy that you quit school for NWF. No, it's not really. I mean, I talk when I said, I was thinking about that. When I said Anoka wasn't the best school system, it was just overcrowded, and I didn't like that.
Well, all of our schools were overcrowded.
Yeah, but Anoka was decent for when the time me and Wayne went. It was a decent time period though. Like it was it just was kind of
always slow, but the teachers were overwhelmed with the amount of students.
I think that's what
I mean. Nowadays, you get a classroom, you're lucky to hit 30 students in a classroom. Back when we were going to school, 30 was a small class.
Right. And, it's like, that wasn't the smartest decision, you guys. I don't want kids to think, hey, let's quit school and just get into wrestling. Don't do what I did. That part of it was a mistake, really. I still probably could have been.
It's like I always say, Crusher. The kids nowadays, they may love wrestling. They may adore wrestling.
Yeah.
As did we back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But they need to have something to fall back on, which includes an education.
Right. And, but like, not everybody can do what I did. Not everybody can just quit and get their GED and go to college.
Right.
I'm just because I knew I could, I did it, but that doesn't mean everybody can do the same thing. It's just shouldn't have done that. I could have still ran the NWF and stayed in school,
Right.
But now this event tonight, Dave, is a great show. It's Superstar Spectacular 87. For the last Armory card we did, under my full control, because it was after this event that Ernie Ellis approached me and said, hey, would you be interested in selling the promotion to me and let me take it? I still want you on board for taking care of all the television stuff because I don't know how to do that.
Well, it's kind of like this show,
Right.
It may have been my brainchild, but you're our tech guy.
Yeah. And he goes, and I had the time slot, and that's really at the time with the NWF back in that point in time. That time slot was important because we had a history. We had a lot of people tuning in every week, and
Exactly.
so having that time slot was kind of cool. At the time, it was kind of, for the local market there, I should say.
Right.
Yeah, not like it was big deal because our time slots were all over the board in other states. Like I have no idea when they were putting us on in some of these other areas, but I only knew that they were doing it, but didn't know when.
Crusher, I know I probably shouldn't say anything, but should we let the fans in on the exciting news that we were talking about this morning?
With
about the contact that's been made now?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I'm talking the local contact.
Yep, I know who you mean. So we finally were able to make contact with the one and only Slick Steenerson.
The Slickster.
I am so looking forward. I don't know when he's going to come on. He said he'll do it though. But when he comes on, that's going to be a great conversation. And I haven't, Tori and I haven't talked to him in so long. And just to, just get his perspective today on what he thought back in the day of everything we did. And Troy hasn't changed, and he's a ribber. He likes to, so he's ain't gonna. And you guys are trying to find dirt on me. I think Slickster might find some dirt on Crusher Crossen. If there's anybody,
if anybody can come up with dirt, yep, it's.
And he's still a prankster. He's still a jokester. He's still the same Slick Steenerson. So he might look a little different, but like I said, I'm just looking forward to him coming on.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Crusher. If anybody can come up with dirt on either of us,
yeah,
because we both spent quite a bit of time with Slick.
Oh yeah, a lot of us did, and Troy, he was, when Troy first came in the show, he was rough. I mean, he didn't have the technique down, and he, it took him a while to get his groove, but then he got smooth as silk in the ring. It was very easy to work with. That roughness and that rough around the edges with him, he learned it pretty quick. And
oh yeah,
he was a great character. And then towards the end, he really took the wrestling seriously. The whole reason Slick Steenerson had Pretty Boy Taylor as his manager, PWA days, because Troy knew he couldn't talk. If the weakness Troy had was interviews. So, he knew it. So he had Troy, he had Steve Engstrom, Pretty Boy Taylor be his manager because he knew Steve could talk. So Troy could, Troy was a genius that way. He knew what he needed to make his image of his whole character.
Troy was another Chris Benoit as far as talent in the ring.
Yeah.
But could not speak on the mic.
Dave and I were talking. Troy, we used to call it the timber fall. When Troy would get hit, it would be like a tree falling down. He would just do the straight back fall, and it would look beautiful. And he does it in this show, guys. We're going to point it out when it happens. I want you to pay attention in this match. Conan the Barbarian hits him or whatever, and he does it, that timber fall, and it's just awesome when he does that. Troy was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Slick Steenerson.
I mean, come on. Slick Steenerson was good enough. He was the only one of us to ever wrestle a WWE Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Sean Waltman. And I can only hope that Troy still has that tape. And if we can somehow get a copy of that to put on the show to show everybody that would be awesome. See Slick Steenerson against, because he had it. He has it on VHS, I believe. So he should have it still. Because knowing Troy, he kept all that stuff under lock and key. He didn't let anybody even look at that stuff. Like he had his own little compartment of all his stuff. He even put our DVDs and stuff in there. And yeah, so I'm pretty sure he still got it.
I hate to admit it, Crusher, but I've half considered if he and I ever get together, I've half considered hooking Angie up with the second set of DVDs just so her and
Well,
Slick
yeah.
Jr. can
So they
watch
can
it.
watch it because Troy wouldn't let them watch it for a long time. He just wanted to keep them sealed. Yeah, that's Troy for you. But yeah, so let's get the show started, guys. I know everybody wants to start watching this one, and I do too. This is now remember, guys, when we watch the show, it's as Dave said last week when we were on, it's the unedited, uncut version. So what does that mean? It means the DVD was edited because it had to fit, and the show is just a little bit too long to fit the way it was. And some of the bigger sections that were cut out, one was that battle royal that went south. That's the only glitch on this show is the battle royal. The ending did not go the way it was supposed to, and that was heavily edited for the DVD release. So you'll see the whole kind of shenanigans of that. And we'll talk about it as we get to that part of it. But yeah, let's get the show started here, guys, and we'll start watching it, and we'll keep talking, and let's take your questions as we go, as usual, everybody. And here we go.
You don't have to watch me in the ring.
Oh, I'm going to remember to get rid of the comment this time. I usually always forget to do that, and then it's in the way. All right. Well, then I guess it doesn't matter because we usually bring comments in when we watch long anyway. But all right, here we go. Of course, this is our normal little intro that I put in front of anything. It's cropped a little bit, though, for this, but... yeah. The only thing I do when I put these on here, they're still in the high resolution. They just happen to be cut down because of the size. We talked about that. Original intro, you guys. It's not the DVD intro. That was made for the DVD.
Now, Crusher, I'm trying to remember, what did BAD stand for?
Bushman and Dotzler, their last names. Greg Bushman and Scott Dotzler, they were the BAD Productions crew that I used for years. Guys that I met at the cable company and just hooked up with them over the years. And they were always behind the scenes doing a lot of my camera work in the beginning and stuff. And then they eventually got to use the mobile van, which this is the very first show, this one here, where we got the mobile van for the show. So yep, and that's all. That's Joe Hoffman, John's younger brother. Yep, and you can see the resemblance for sure.
Superstar Spectacular 1987 here from the Anoka
You notice there's
Armory.
lots of empty chairs, and even though it might not look it, but there was about 70 people there.
But you know, if I remember correctly, we were up against heavy competition on this show.
Yeah, you can say that. Jim Crockett in town with NWA for the first time. Yeah, that was not a good timing on our part. But we didn't realize it. You know, when we booked the Armory, we didn't know they were coming at the time.
Exactly.
The first match here today.
And then, of course, well, I don't know if you want to call it competition, but NCWA was having a card that same day.
Disco Kid used to be called Disco Joe, but he changed his name to Disco Kid. Can you think there's any reason why?
You guys, is the volume loud enough or too loud, or can you hear us talking still? Just let me know in the comments if the audio on the show needs to be adjusted up or down.
The guy's always trouble.
They're off and running here. Disco Joe, now known as Disco Kid, and Invader 4.
You know, I'm watching these. The only thing with Terry and Joe in this match, I talked about this a little bit with Ricky. I think, I don't know, maybe we talked about it on the show. But anyways, the way they were doing these suplexes. Now, Terry knew how to do it because I know I trained him on that. But when you watch Terry give these suplexes, he's not hooking the person's head correctly. And it could have been a bad injury there. I'll show you. You see it when it happens here.
This is the first of 6 matches, and then a big 16
All right,
or 18
thanks, Wayne. So it sounds like we can hear us fine.
Team championship.
6 matches and 5 championship matches.
But what I did when I restored this, you guys, so not only you can see it's nice and clean, there's no fuzzies or anything. I also color corrected everything, and I color balanced the cameras. This is the tedious process in these Armory shows when you have multiple cameras. I basically made each camera angle look the same, so because they weren't originally. That's a lot of work, Dave.
Oh, I know it is.
Looks like Jason
Yeah.
Crossen is going to have to do double duty. He's up in the ring referee in the match.
I don't know.
And if you
Ken
remember, the DVD version of this is very green. It had a very green tint to it. It was just, the color was just way off.
Yeah.
Because I also white balance correct these shows. Call everything I restore.
He's taking over the upper hand here.
I fix the skin tones.
More
Baylor with a few kicks to the back. Another one. Another one. Grabs him by the hair.
The close-up shots like this are always pretty good. It's when they get those little wider shots. Sometimes you get some awkward-looking AI artifacting.
He's got a 10 count, right, Ken, to get back in the ring?
Just here and there. It's not too bad.
The referee won't start the count until the mystery man gets away from over here.
Yeah, we were excited for this
Vader
one.
4, he holds the CWF Heavyweight Championship.
Helps him back into the ring.
That's an interesting comment from Gizmo on this match.
Trying to go up against Invader
He says, "This is my favorite match of the videos. I can see why this one went viral. Good,
who's this at ringside?
good costume, good wrestling, and very entertaining." Yeah, now that was a good suplex. Okay, that's how they're done. But I'll show you the ones I'm referring to that Terry, I wished would have been a little bit better with what he was doing. Like, Terry took the suplex beautifully. But watch when Terry gives the suplex. Like that. That's not how it's done. Luckily, you know, if his neck caught, that could have been bad. You know, here we are, Dave. It's easy, 20/20 hindsight vision, right? I mean, we see this stuff now. But back then, yeah, you know, is what it is, I guess. I shouldn't Corticus too hard. But yeah, you know, if you like look at all the sections and you count the people, and I think we had a few more come after the first couple matches, we had more people fill in, and there's about 70 people here.
Well, that's how you get those cauliflower ears.
So you think about it, Dave. 70 people showed up to our show with the NWA in town at the Met Center.
5'1".
Exactly. I mean,
shit.
I think that's in California. So
you know, I'll admit to the crowd, at this point, I couldn't resist. I was at the NWA show.
Yeah, Dave was at the NWA show, but I even had other guys come up to me. I remember I told you I met why can't I think of his name? You know who I'm talking about, though. Wade Keller.
Yeah.
You know, he first started doing his pro wrestling torch. You know, he was in the Twin Cities, and he came to the Dry Dock a few months after this show, and he said, "I wanted to come to your guys' show." You know, he had heard of it, but he said the NWA was in town, and I couldn't resist. You know, I just had to go. And you know, Wade's my age and Wayne's age. I mean, he's like our age, so he, you know, I understood. You know, I mean, I could see where he was coming from.
Looks like we got a pin potential. 1, 2.
And of course, he now has been pretty big, you know, with the pro wrestling torch and everything. Now he does kind of forgets that he knew about us back in the day, like some other people, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Certain
Vader 4.
The second rope just about broke his back.
Certain wrestling analysts knew who we were back in the day, and now they won't even acknowledge us.
Right. You know, it's almost some. I always wonder why. Sometimes I think maybe are they afraid they're going to tarnish their own reputation or something? It's like,
who knows? I mean, come on. Yeah, we get mixed reviews on our stuff.
Right. But we tell it like it is. We don't sugarcoat anything. We tell you, look, we weren't polished here. Or we weren't that good at this point in time. And we don't try to pretend we were great all the time, right?
He wasn't hearing bells before. He is now.
We just say,
don't know how much more each man can take.
We did what we did. And not many people can say that they did what we did.
Right. To answer Wayne's question, I'm going to bring it in here. Did Keller ever write about NWF and the Torch? He actually did. He covered us. You know, when we first started doing our Dry Dock shows, he showed up when he was first doing the newsletter. So if you could get a copy of the very first couple issues, he covered us. And then he always covered me, like in the PWA. You know, when I was working with Eddie Sharkey, he complimented me on my matches and stuff, and he wrote about me not only for his torch, but for Wrestling Observer. He would write for him at Dave Meltzer as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Yeah, and then when I released the book and DVD, he gave us a small little plug into
And he
it.
squashes him like a bug.
You know,
Big
just kind of
leg drop.
said, hey, they did this, they have this out. You know, didn't really give an opinion on it, just kind of mentioned it for us.
Yep.
Sky Sports Video News says, is this the same quality that was on YouTube release of the video this week? Yes and no. This is not the same resolution for the podcast. For when I do the live stream, I have to cut the resolution kind of in half almost.
I've got no idea why he stopped.
So it's still nice and cleaned up. It's just doesn't have that 1080p resolution.
Both wrestlers
Where the
exchanging
one
blows.
you've seen on YouTube
Match
is in
gone on for
1080p.
Nearly 10 minutes.
Full resolution.
Yep.
More blows to the head.
And
more
the reason
blows.
is because I can't get a big file. EDMux limits us to like 2 gig files.
Brutal.
And those 1080p files are big for a whole show like this. So when I upload them to the video network, it's unlimited. So I can put they only go by time. So I usually bump up the bit rate as high as I can so that when they encode it down, it's still going to be at a high bit rate. So the video network's going to look really good, you
And I think
guys.
he is out cold. Let's see if he can get out of it.
He's out of it.
Why, where'd he come up with that energy?
But yeah, I mean, and it's really honestly, as I watch this,
Gusto now.
and it's pretty hard
to
to see. I'm curious, Sky Sports, does it not look as good as the video you watched on YouTube? I'm just curious. Do you notice anything? I want to know that because, you know, it's just, to me, that's interesting to know.
Sidewalk.
So if you can follow up with me
Back
on
in
that
my
one.
wrestling days, I had my head bashing
In the
turnbuckle
comments
a million
there.
times, and believe me, that thing was as hard as a rock.
But Dave, this was a solid production. Like I was saying to the guys on Keaton, I would put this production up against anything at the time, production-wise. You know, we had the mobile van, pro shot, multiple cameras. We've got professional announcers in suit and tie. The only little side glitch here is Jason Clausen's double duty reffing because Rick Pitts was late. But
Good night.
you know, Rick will show up eventually. Rick Pitts, our ref. But
That's it.
But yeah, I mean, from a production standpoint, this was a pretty solid show. Wrestling was okay, you know, for the time.
Exactly.
It was, you know, old school style wrestling. So you're not going to see the moves they do today.
No, you're not going to see the flip flop and fly.
Right.
That you see nowadays.
But the basic structure of the '80s style of match is pretty much here. You know, for the most part.
Invader 4 beat Disco Kid, but now there's an absolute ruckus going on. We've got
That's the Ace Dragon and Mr. Distraction. 2 more.
There was a comment on this video on YouTube saying how they're upset because of stuff like this happening. They can't just let the kids have their match. You have to have the other bigger kids come in and ruin it for them. They were offended by that.
the bell's been rung, but nobody's...
Look out, right in front of a table. Get out of here.
Toledo.
Get him out of here, Jason. Boy, Jason Crossen.
Then you
Yeah.
didn't watch old school WWE, Wayne.
It's complete.
Yeah, I mean, remember WWE? They kind of wore the bow ties and
But then we
stuff.
take a look at the victor,
But,
Invader 4, who
but like with
retains
a
the
straight
CWF
tie though, like
Heavyweight
Jason
Championship
has,
belt
that
with a pin
I think
of
he's got a
Disco
point
Kid.
there.
What a crazy match, Ken.
Well, anytime that mystery man is involved in a match, something like this is bound to happen.
Yeah, so
Mr. Man still has not
like
left the
that's
ring.
what I was gonna say.
Well, all of a sudden, Cisco Kid
So,
with a whole bunch of
Sky
energy.
Sports Video News says the quality is good and fair. The
Get him
YouTube
outta
video
here.
is
He's already
super
taken
clear,
a
made it
boot
easy
beating
to
this
watch.
time.
You can really see
Don't fall
their
for that.
facial
He is
expressions.
dope.
Yeah, because like I said, the resolution. So basically,
That
the
was
resolution
Jason,
is
uh,
going from 1080p
Jason Crosson's
and
finally
cutting
got
it
order
in
here,
half to make it fit
It's about
on
time
the
they cleared the
podcast.
ring. Invader 4
So we are losing a little
retaining
bit of the
CWF
clarity.
Heavyweight
So
Championship
you know,
over Disco Kid. And Ken, that was quite a match. I
still
don't know
though, it's a
what was going on
lot
at the
better
end of
than
that
it
one.
Oh, yeah,
was
Jason Crosson's,
before. Like even the resolution I have it at right now is better than the
Got
old
about 6
than the
guys
DVD
in there.
release.
Chairs and everything, and I think we might get a shot at
Right?
a replay here of the pinning
Yep.
move that Invader 4 put on Disco Joe,
Yeah, I want to
now
see
known
that.
as Disco Kid.
Let's see that again. It looked like he got him with a big suplex. Oh, I think we missed it.
Got him pinned
But yeah,
down,
and that's a
and we're
good
taking
point.
the ref,
That's a
counting
good
1,
point,
2,
Sky
3.
Sports. Though,
So
to
hot
everybody
now,
out there
that's
watching
the
to
way
know,
it
if
goes.
you
Well, next match
subscribe to the
coming up
Video
here,
Network,
take
you're
your
going to see it
championship.
more like the way it was on
IWF,
YouTube
the defending champion,
versus
Invaders for you.
the way it is on the podcast, and that's just,
Invader 1 and
you know, that's a
Invader
little
3
bit
up
of the,
against the Ice Dragon and Chad,
you know,
Dr. Destruction
by design in a
Rancor.
way, Dave,
It's gonna be
right?
quite a match. It's
Oh,
gonna
we
be
already
big.
got to look at those two in here, and the mystery man is going to be out with them again.
Are you there, Dave?
It's gonna be quite a take.
Oh, I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
here.
so make sure you
Only
didn't lose you.
6
But yeah, because like we
6
keep
matches on
the
this card.
best quality stuff on our video
It'll be the
network.
second one, 4 more after that.
You
And
know.
then the big 18-man.
You know, that's
team
why you
battle
pay for the
royal
video
that'll
network
be
is
the
to get
finale
quality.
of this one.
Yeah.
Invader
Jason's
1, he weighs
instructing
in
Ken Boyer that,
115 pounds, 5'6".
you know, matches
He
are
comes from
changing.
parts
We
unknown. His partner used
we
to
had
be
people that
Invader
weren't
2 until
that didn't
Invader
arrive
2
yet
got
that were
injured
scheduled.
back in
So
February.
Jason's
He suffered an
rearranged. I'm
injury
having
to
him
his knee, and he's
rearrange the
still been
card
out.
right now.
Invader 2.
He's
or-
going over
so
it with
now Invader
Ken.
2's out, and Invader 1's new partner is Invader 3.
You know, we
He
could have
also
done
comes
this,
from parts unknown.
basically
He weighs
doing this
118
live.
pounds. He's
Like
5'3".
we're not
Used
we're
to be known
not
as
cutting
the
and
Irish
pausing for
Terror.
the show.
They'll
Like the
be
van is
facing
capturing
Ice
all of
Dragon,
this live.
129 pounds, 5'7" from Chicago, Illinois, and you know how tough a wrestling town that is. And Ice Dragon's partner is going to be Chad Dr. Destruction Rancor.
And Dave, this is the stuff that was cut out.
5'10".
Like all
He's
everything
from
we're seeing here right now was
Stockholm,
not on the
Sweden, so he's come
DVD.
quite a far away for this match.
Oh, no. Bruce, it's Bulldog Brower. That's who it is. Get out of
Bulldog
here.
Brown.
Get out of here with that radio. Oh, boy.
So to
do you
answer
have a change in the
Wayne's
card now, Ken?
question,
No, well, what we have is a change in the names.
so Ken Boyer was with
That's
us
Bulldog Brower.
since
Bulldog
March. I mean,
Butcher
he's
Brower, that's who it is. changed
he
his
was
name
kind of
here,
part of the NCWA crew
who knows
that
why.
came in then with Larry, but Larry never really
Probably
used
trying
him,
to get
so
off the taxes or something, collect
I
the money,
kept
get
Ken
out of town,
around.
and
I
get
liked
the name.
Ken.
This guy's
And Gary Galvaby, he was just a guy that was,
Had a lot of run-ins
you
with
know,
him at the-
kind of
the
starting out in the
commentating
Access at the time, doing a lot of sports
table. I tell you what, you take that guy's
play-by-plays
brains,
and
put
stuff
him
at
in
the
front
time
of him,
for the schools.
What a dope.
Yep.
And
Hey,
he said, "Hey, we need an announcer. You want to give it a shot?" And he was all up for it. Gary was great. I wish we never got him to stick with us to the dry dock. I wish we would have because he was good.
I think we've changed our match card now.
Gary
for the
Galvaby.
feature match, the Destructors. They've got a combined weight of 336, and they're wasting no time. We're right in the match.
Hey,
right
the
here.
Destructors right off him off that bed.
Yeah, I mean Wayne wasn't. He really has a kind of a classy, kind of a, I don't know, just like a really polished sound to him. You know, like you've seen in the early WWF stuff.
So now the match we've got
in
is
the,
the
like the
feature match.
late
The
'80s, early
Destructors against
'90s.
Tommy Tornado, Cantonese,
I
and
forget the
Bulldog
guys'
Butcher.
names on the
Then
WWF,
Invaders,
but they had guys
Ice
like Gary
Dragon, Dr.
Galvaby that
Destruction
sounded
match
like
will be
him.
coming up after this
Kind of that
one.
look and sound.
They
Well,
changed-
Gary, I think here's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Tornado
What the heck was his name? I wish I could remember it.
and Bulldog
That-
Butcher
that
changed
Gary
their name
reminds
for
me
some
of.
reason to Masher and Basher. Figure that one out. They probably took them all night
So
to
we got the
figure that
Destructors,
Dasher
John
and Basher,
Hoffman,
Dasher and Princeton, and Comet and Cupid, and
Leslie
Donner and
Johnson, the
Blitzen,
mystery
out.
man
Get
in
'em
there,
out of here.
and
It
then
was just the same
Ryan
old
Rudd,
tubby-
who was taking the place of
They're
Gary
asking us to
Parr,
ring the bell
who
and
ended
start
up
this
breaking
match
his neck,
officially, and Ken
and
Boyer
not in the
reaches over to
wrestling,
ring the bell.
school
Ken Boyer,
diving
Gary
accident in
Galvaby, and
the
we're
play
on
hole.
Public access,
grab
cable
him.
TV North Central, Channel 33. Hope you're enjoying this match, feature match. The
So
Destructors
Tommy
and now
Tornado
Basher and
Katniss. You know what's
Thrasher,
funny about
or
him?
whoever
This
they've
guy
changed
in
their
here in
names
the
to.
blue shorts.
I
He,
tell you, Masher and Blasher.
He was supposed to join our
Basher,
show in
Basher,
the very
Gary
beginning of the bed
killed in
mattress
this match,
days.
there's no doubt about
Charlie
it.
Lane knew him at
Destructors are
school.
rough, they're tough,
He never
they're
made.
from
He always
South
kept
Side
saying, "I'll make it,
Chicago,
I'll make it, I'll
former
make
gang
it."
members.
So now, 3 years later, he finally makes his debut.
Crazy mystery man in their corners.
And I had to train him for about 2 weeks.
Wow,
We had the ring set up in Troy's, just outside, right off the highway there, Highway 47.
Yep.
I think it was 47.
Oh,
And that's where I trained Tommy.
Man, oh man,
Just
these guys don't waste any time.
a couple
with heavy
weeks
punishment.
leading up to the show. Because Tommy
Destructors
Katniss
are
is an
gonna get
athlete
about
to begin
half
with.
hour.
Like, he's really good in
Clock
hockey at
right
the
in
time.
stomach.
And he's told me, he says, "I don't want to look like a tool, so you're gonna,
He'll
can, you
taste
know,
the
can you
turnbuckle once.
help train me
Big
and
head
show me
middle of the
this a
turnbuckle.
little,
No,
you
knee
know,
to the
so I know what
face.
I'm doing, right?"
Ballard
Right.
again.
Going for the double
The
team.
Destructors
So.
are changing.
And you know that you got to
Destructor
respect a guy
number 2
like
in there with a
that.
big body slam.
Yep, they
Oh.
care. And of course, when I train these guys, I don't really train them offensively as much. I'm really showing them
He
how to
doesn't wanna
take
get
the
in there. Hey,
bumps,
here he comes now.
You notice, Ken, the mystery man's here also.
you know, body slams, suplexes, all that
this
kind of
is
stuff.
nice.
Doesn't have
Always
anything-
around.
yeah, doesn't have anything else to do.
Get a load of those gloves he's wearing. Spike gloves.
And that's Bulldog Butcher.
Weapons.
Making his return to
Like
the
to see
ring.
him get in the ring and give it a try.
Oh, you'll never see him in the ring. Never really see him in the ring.
because he had taken that time off and was just.
Well, okay, so Lewis is an old friend of mine. So he says, how do you train someone? 20 suplexes and a few drop kicks? No, it's not that. It's really showing him how to take falls initially and then doing it over and 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 over. Right?
Proving that they're devastating.
Muscle memory.
Muscle memory. Yeah. You just got to keep doing it so that way when they're in the match, it'll come natural. And if you watch Tommy, even though he's only had a couple weeks with it, you'll notice that when they do all the moves to him, he's doing it pretty good. Like he's taking it well.
They put him right through the mat in the corner there. They'll have to do repairs.
So that's really what it is, showing them how to fall initially. 'Cause that's my. With a new guy, I'm not trying to show him so much how to be offensive. And Tommy's role in this match, he knew he was just going to be, a punching bag anyway for this match. So he really just had to know how to take the falls.
The clothesline.
He did good. He did real good.
Bulldog.
He has a little bit of. It's not like he's total. Punching bag in this. He has a little bit of offense.
Coming in now is Tommy Tornado Cannonades.
Clunk.
Like that, for instance. Taking a fall on the mat, right?
Just shot at him on the ground. He's trying to pull himself together.
Let's see. Sports Video says, I would love to see a show with videos of Crusher from his very first video and his last match ever. Would love to see the progression. Oh my gosh. So you're wanting to see the stuff on the bed mattresses, Crusher? That stuff?
For the body slam, can he turn him over? He does.
That real early kind of stuff? Man, that would be something.
That stuff does no longer exist.
No, I have it. I do have basement stuff. But
okay.
It's just scattered. Once I get through all the tapes, I'll be able to compile it. Because all that kind of stuff was recorded over, but I have a lot of bits and pieces at the end of a lot of our shows. So as I capture them, I'll get it.
Really caved in the far corner.
When he smashed Bulldog through the air, that big tub, he busted one of the supports under the ring.
What do you think Bulldog weighs in at, Ken? It's probably around 200 pounds.
So Sports Video, he says, whatever your first match was and your last one. Well, yeah, I mean, my first match would have been the bed mattress stuff. The bed in the basement, which I hate watching. Not gonna lie, but yeah, I mean, I see your point. You want to see the transformation. You want to see the progression. I get it.
All Tommy Tornado can do at the side of the ring is wait for Bulldog to come and tag him out.
I don't like watching it, but I enjoy remembering it. Does that make sense?
Have to have some repairs done to this ring during intermission.
No, they're talking about repairs needing to be done to the ring.
Yeah, because we still had the ring was metal, but there were that ring. If you were to see, if we had like an X-ray machine and we could see through the ring right now as we look at it, there's 4 sections. There's a spring in the middle, and then there's 4 sections, and in those 4 sections. Some of it's steel going back and forth, steel beams, but then there's some wood beams, and the wood beams sometimes would break on us, 2x4s.
Yep.
Just being beaten to a pulp.
We wish whoever built this ring ran out of funds and couldn't complete it with all the steel, so they had to resort to 2x4s in place of steel 2x4s, basically.
But Tommy Tornado, they're pulling him up. They're not going to have mercy on him and pin him. They're going for a second.
So I'd say about, I don't know, half of that was steel, half of that was wood beams in those sections.
But Tommy Tornado gets up again for more punishment.
Off
the ropes, the destructor.
The blue tarp. So Lewis says, why the blue tarp on top? Well, we had to have either a canvas. We couldn't afford canvas at the time, so blue tarp was cheaper. So we just used the blue tarp just to cover it. Underneath that blue tarp, you just got about 3/4 inch fiberglass padding, which sucked. That wasn't. It may as well not have been padding at all. And then plywood sheets.
Next, we'll be pulling out some
sheets.
I don't remember the ring being that hard.
No, but that fiberglass padding. And then the reason we used this fiberglass padding is because it really held up. Like regular carpet padding would
I
get
can watch
just
any more of
wrecked
this. Tommy Tornado
after a
being
while.
absolutely massacred by the Destructors.
Jason Crossen should stop this
Yeah,
match.
tarp is cheaper than
neck breaker
canvas,
coming up. He's
exactly
got him
like
set up
Wayne
for
says.
Hey, you can't
And
get away.
eventually, though, we did get
Tommy Tornado fighting.
they did get a canvas for it.
Look out, reverse
So
the
in
top
our
drop.
dry dock stuff, I think it was a dry dock, we started using the canvas, and
Well, that
then
ended that
we had the
four-year roller.
canvas. Troy and I, when we bought the ring back from
Look at
Ernie
him
when he
working
was
over there.
done,
He's bringing the ring right
it all
down.
had the blue
Suplex.
canvas.
Yep, I remember the blue canvas
Now,
out
one
at
of
the
the
pole
Destructors
bar.
getting up
Yeah,
higher.
so eventually got a blue canvas.
Another
Oh,
blow.
nice
I
elbow
don't know
drop
how
off
much
the
more
second.
Tommy
Was that the
Tornado
top
can
or the
take.
second rope? I didn't see.
I missed it.
Yeah, I missed it too.
Sorry if you guys catch me eating,
Boy,
but I
double
was
team
having
blatantly.
technical
Here comes the
difficulties
mystery
before I
man.
logged
Another
into the
pile
show.
driver.
And
Well, that's
Dave's
4 pile
starving.
drivers.
Yeah, pile driver. Ryan was a big boy though. He's like a big muscular kid. The guy tagging out
Guys
right
being
now.
absolutely
Now it's
beaten
John, but
apart.
Ryan was.
These
He had a
Destructors,
real
they joined the
muscular
NWF
look,
back
but
in
he was a
January
nice.
1987.
He couldn't
I
been
don't think they made
anything
any
but
friends.
that behind the scenes. He was a
Absolutely
very
killing
nice
Tommy
guy,
Tornado. Going for the 5th pile driver if they can get him up.
Put on
but
the
he had
brakes.
that look.
Over he goes. Tommy Tornado. And then he misses
Ooh,
with
that
the
could have
elbow
turned out
slap.
bad.
His right
That
arm
could have
is in
turned
pain.
out bad.
But he manages to tag the Bulldog
Yeah.
Butcher, and Bulldog Butcher chases one of the Destructors out of the ring.
Um,
Now both of them are running around the ring outside.
Oh, wait a minute. This could be a count out.
Yeah, and John
Bulldog got back
Hoffman,
in.
the guy
Four
who's.
count.
I'll show you who he is
5.
here.
6.
He's getting in the ring right
But,
now. That's John
The
Hoffman.
Destructors are back
He's like
in.
the smaller guy of the Destructors.
Well, Gary, this
He
man
actually
hold
was
these,
in
but what's
Golden
gonna
Gloves
happen is
boxing
John Unknown
before
Studs
the
in there.
wrestling, and he went to
Against the Lightning
nationals,
train.
and he did
100,000
very
pounds of
well,
beef in
and he
those
became a
meetings.
professional
They have to
boxer
reinforce that.
and a
Oh, how about
professional
that
boxing
DDT?
promoter and trainer.
And now the Bulldog
over the
comes
years
back
in
with a
Minnesota.
blow to the throat of the Destructor.
So he, still stuck
Now
with
for a
the
body
with the
slam.
ring, just in a different way.
Bulldog's got him up. Goes for the back.
And
breaker
John, if you're
instead.
watching, we're still waiting for you guys to get time
Destructors
together
are getting
to.
paid back
Yeah,
for
come
the
hang out
torture
with
they
us.
did to Tommy
I guess he does
Tornado.
like a Bible study on Thursdays, so I don't know when we're ever gonna get him, but I do want to get John on one of these
You gotta hand
days.
it to the Bulldog. I never thought it would last this long.
So yeah, to your
hanging
point,
again
Damian
against the
Thorne,
Destructors.
the wrestling in this video looks more
Breaking
advanced
eyes
than a
little
lot
bit,
of
that'll
the
teach 'em.
other shows. And this is my point with this whole event, you guys. And this is why I'm so proud of this show, because this is what all the 3 to 4 years of working hard on this whole thing, this was the payoff now. This is where this is what we got to, right?
On public access, channel 33.
And now we could have been better. I get it. I'm not saying we were perfect, but man, we had come so far, right?
Goodbye, Bulldog.
No,
Yep.
he
And,
throws Bulldog out of the ring.
Not only the wrestling in the ring, but the
comes the mystery
production
man, Gary.
value, the announcers,
Look out.
Oh,
With
now
the steel gloves
you know,
over the head.
just the whole thing.
gloves. Oh,
This is
what's the ref
very,
looking
very
at?
Could've broke his
proud
arm
moment,
out.
really, for us, Dave, as a league.
There's no padding. unless that's
Exactly. I mean, this
100%
was kind
concrete
of our-
outside the ring. Oh, big blow to the Bulldog.
And I know it's not
Got
the
him
big
on the
sellout
ropes.
like we had in
Flipping
October,
him
but
back in.
Oh,
and then
really?
we had
Well,
another big
obviously, you didn't have Dixie Dave on the show.
yeah, we had another big card
Bulldog
in
looks
March of this of
just about
'87
out
that
of this one.
was a bigger crowd than this, but
The ref's
those
got to
cards
get one
weren't
of those
going up
Destructors out of
against
there. They can't double up on Bulldog.
the NWA at the same night. Although I will say this, the October 18th Armory card, that sellout,
Big body slam.
that
Bulldog goes
weekend,
down, and he-
AWA was at the Civic Center the
Tommy
very next
Tornado's
day.
recovered.
Yep.
Anytime
So,
Bulldog can tag him, Tommy can come
not
back
the best
in.
planning, but
He'd
we
be
had a
vain,
sellout
too,
on
because that
ours.
200 pounds of blubber come down in his
Oh,
We
200
sold out on
pounds.
ours, but they didn't sell out theirs.
Oh!
No, the AWA was struggling, though. I mean, it still had some big names, though. Midnight Rockers. I mean, they had some good.
Yep.
The ref had his
Shawn
Bulldog
Michaels,
is
Marty
seeing
Jannetty.
all
They
kinds
had
of
some good
stars.
names.
The ref had his back turned
Jimmy
when they did
Snuka.
that double suplex. The ref was talking to Tommy Tornado. He's got to keep his eye on the Destructors. I think it's poor officiating.
But yeah, you're right, though,
Jason
Damien. The
Crossen is
wrestling,
official. I don't know
you
what
know,
happened to the
like I said, it had
Attorney
evolved,
General is
you
also
know,
trying to get into the
quite a
building.
bit.
maybe he's in Crossen's limo that hasn't shown up yet.
That's right, Crusher Crossen.
Yeah, so no, like, Lou.
Somebody
So what was
said
going
that
on
he
here
can't get
is,
him up. He couldn't get the big tub up. He's too
I-
tired. He's gonna pay for it.
I started out where I could do all, I could do I could be in the van directing, I could do all that stuff because that's how I started with Access with cable myself. But as I got going with the league, I realized I'm just stretched too thin here. I can't do it all. So I used Greg Bushman and Scott Dotz for Bad Productions. They're other Access users that I knew and got to know over the years, and they became my crew. So these guys, it's a whole crew. They have, and then Scott and Greg had their own people under them operating the cameras and all that stuff. So all we're doing now is just the wrestling, and I'm having them do the directing of it. So the way to look at it is Greg Bushman and Scott Dotzler would be kind of like back when Al DeRusha was producing the AWA, or Mike Shields was producing the AWA, doing all the technical stuff. That's where I had Greg and Scott. I still did a lot of the editing in these days, but I had them like taking care of the production on a card like this because I couldn't. Look, I can't do all of it, right?
Right.
You know, so I had to just oversee everything, and that's, you know, on a big show like this.
Getting the card together and relaying messages from Jason so he can.
He must be seeing stars.
But I could, like, if I had to, I could go in that van and I could direct it.
Tommy Tornado in.
Right? Because we were all, you know, on Axis, you're trained on all this stuff. And I did a lot of that at the county fair. You know, I used to volunteer and help them. And I used to produce stuff like that on my days off, you know, early days when I got involved with cable.
Revitalized, got quite a rest. There's a bundle of energy now. Now goes a Destructor with a big clothesline and a leg drop. He scrambled out of the ring. There you go. He walked right into the glove.
Got him on the ground. And here comes the other Destructor with a folding chair.
He's got a folding chair.
Now the big chair. Oh, what a blow to
Oh, right in the head.
Bulldog get back in the ring.
Look good. I don't think he touched him, though. But look good on camera.
Yep. And that's what matters is that it looks good.
Yep.
Got a folding chair. Here they come again. Bulldog's the only one.
Because I don't want people to freak out and say, "Oh my God, they just hit him with the chair."
Mystery man, he's got himself in the ring. One of the Destructors got.
I don't think anybody got Tommy getting suplexed in the ring.
Butcher. Now he's kicking him in the kidneys. So
all hell breaking loose here, Dave.
Oh yeah. And this is all stuff that was cut out.
And they're going to pile drive him on that steel chair.
Oh. This match is called, but somebody's got to stop this chaos. It's a 3-on-2. The Destructors and the Mystery Man up against Tommy Tornado and Bulldog Butcher.
No, they're family stacked clothesline. This is brutal. Oh. Man, oh,
God, he almost landed on that chair.
Control. Someone's going to get killed there in a minute.
This makes me nervous watching it now, but
yeah.
The bell's been rung for the 8th time now.
Oh, the Destructors.
Man, they were a great team.
We're just about ready to get the official ruling from
John Hoffman, you know, who I've recently reunited with when I was back in Minnesota last year.
That match was completely out of
super nice guy. God, there couldn't be a nicer guy today. So nice.
Oh, they gave it to the Bruise Brothers.
They gave the feature match to the Bruise Brothers.
Brawler. Get out of here, Bulldog.
You know, some of this stuff was cut out of the DVD just because it was, you know, got kind of dark and stuff.
Yeah.
That's true. The Destructors up against Tommy Tornado.
But all this little chit-chat was never on the DVD, though.
And the Bruise Brothers.
It was straight from one match to the next match.
Yep.
It was a count-out, and it was just quite a brutal match. I can't believe that Bulldog Butcher could take that much physical pain and still be able to stand up against the Destructors.
That's right. I've been in this game a long time. That's the first time I saw anyone get body slammed right through the mat.
And they broke the ring. That's right now we've got a break in the action while they're attempting to fix the ring. What they're doing.
And this is what we would do, guys. I think we're going to show it on camera how we fix the ring when it would break.
Just a few, and they're trying to put them underneath the ring and prop up the floor.
And you'll see it here. They're going to show us
right now
on video. We'd take folding chairs and I'd have them put folding chairs under the ring to prop up the busted 2x4s.
Just roll Bulldog under there for the rest of the night.
They could, but the Destructors body slammed Bulldog Butcher in that left corner.
Ken could always make you laugh, Ken Boyer.
Oh yeah.
Matt, that's quite a mat. It's 20 by 20.
I remember in the match he said he goes, see how we're putting folding chairs underneath, and it just props up the busted 2x4 just so that way it'll still stay in place. That's all we could do.
But there's a picture of a guy trying to
see a busted 2x4 right there.
To reinforce the ring in whatever way possible.
During this match though,
I hope I can get a replay of that.
Ken goes, the NWF always loves it when Bulldog the Butcher's on the card because the ice cream concession's double.
Seconds for that replay, but Ken, what's the next match coming up?
Oh, he could make you laugh.
Like the IWF Tag Team Championship would be,
then he said, Tommy Tornado, I know how this guy got his name. He looks like a whirlwind the way he's been thrown around in that ring.
Yeah, the Invaders 1 and 3 are going to be going up against the Ice Dragon and Dr. Destruction. And if you can believe
Ken was good. These two were good together.
It's unbelievable.
That
That's
should be the Mystery Man show. This guy's been on here all night long.
I know. Somebody get him locked in the locker room or something. I'm sick and tired of this Mystery Man.
This guy's been out here twice. He's interfered in 2 matches already.
No kidding. And he starts fiddling with us, Ken. I seem to wipe him out.
So Sports Talk, kind of clarify that a little bit more. Like, are you talking about certain videos? How were the comments overall on your videos posted to YouTube? Like, are you talking about certain videos or just in general?
Second annual Superstar Spectacular.
Kind of clarify
what
that.
a night of wrestling here in Anoka. You're watching Public Access Channel 33. And we're on the
overall, I'd like to think we get fairly positive reviews on our shows.
We don't get a whole lot of comments, to be honest with you. Most of the comments that we get, you'll see them. They're on there. The only comments I don't allow is the weird ones, the weirdos. You have those. You have those people out there. When I'm talking about weirdos, I'm talking about like weird niches. Like, can you have more sock matches and stuff, weird stuff like that, you know? Or, yeah, I try to not have those kind of comments. I usually just let those go away. But, yeah, so like most of the videos, like most of the comments, a lot of people will comment and they'll just say, I would say most of it would be just like, you know, those kids look good, or they had, like you said, like Gizmo said, that match, how entertaining that first match was that went viral for us. Or at least mini viral, you know. 13,000 views in a week. You know, the comments like that, like what Gizmo commented, we see stuff like that most of the time. Then you'll get people though that comment like, the kids are going to get hurt, they shouldn't be doing this. There's that crowd too.
And it was going to be Invaders 1 and Invaders 3 against the Ice Dragon and Dr. Destruction, but then there's been a recent card change. Now it's going to be the White Ninja.
Yeah, so we had to change it up because Chad Rancor was still in Burnsville. He got there late. So Dr. Destruction is not supposed to be Ice Dragon's partner in this match. So we had to change it up. And Invader 1 was supposed to be teamed up with Invader 3, and Terry Block, Invader 1, never showed up for this show either. I'm not sure what the reason was. He had a reason. I just don't remember what it was. And so we had to modify it. So Mike Whaley, Mr. Macho, comes out as his White Ninja character.
Ooh, I broke my arm, and now I've got to put some cast on
to be Invader 3's partner. Yeah, and that's a great character. It was a great gimmick, the White Ninja.
I don't know how he broke it, but I guarantee you one thing, that cast is solid as a rock. And here comes the White Ninja doing his
There's Kelsey in their corner.
of a Minnesota Gopher.
You notice that Chris Downs, Ice Dragon's got that cast on his arm. He actually broke his wrist. It's not fake. Didn't do it in wrestling.
I don't know.
I forget how he did it. But his arm was in a cast. So we use that. We use that in this match.
But you notice something else. There's Kid Kelsey in there.
There's the White Ninja.
1/4 of the Awesome
and Invader 3, Jamie McParland, one of our regular guests, Dave, that we have on with us. Everybody remembers Jamie. And that's him in there, and they're going against the Mystery Man and the Ice Dragon.
Those cousins from Texas, Jerry and Tom Tyler.
Yeah, so Gizmo there, answer that. Yes, absolutely. Last year, Dave and I had a flood of these guys come on as guests. Remember, Dave?
Oh, yeah.
Before you guys started tuning in regularly, we had guys like Ace Andrew Carlson came on, Luxury Lane was on with us, Rock and Ronabomb had a whole show with us. Yeah, a lot of the guys that come on with us, and then a lot of the guys, you know, I'm still all in touch with a lot of them too. They just haven't been on the podcast. But
was the Ice Dragon with the cast?
You know what we do is, if the guys want to come on, they're welcome to come on. If they don't, we don't push it.
We don't push it. I mean, like, I'll give you a good example. Terry Block. I'd love to have him come on, but Terry was never the kind that loved being on camera. Like, he loved wrestling, but doing an interview and stuff was not his. He was just wasn't his thing. And I think even today it's not his thing. You know, for those kind of people, they just rather enjoy the memories and watch it. They don't necessarily want to be a part of the show, and that's fine.
Right.
Look, I have no problem with that.
Right now, Invader 3 got back in the ring, and he immediately.
I don't hold it against anybody, you know, for. Like we don't Dave and I aren't mad at guys for not coming on the show. There's nothing like that.
The only point of irritation that we get is when they say that they'll be here,
and then they don't show up. We've had that happen a handful of times.
Or the Mystery Man.
right?
I don't like either one of these two.
Neither do I, but I'm happy to see the Mystery Man get some much deserved
This is like
punishment
the
from White
first
Ninja.
time
Flying drop kick.
that the Mystery Man's actually getting in the ring and wrestling. Well, I think he did it in Dayton a couple times, but he really did it a lot on this show. Like, this was he wasn't scheduled to wrestle. He was normally the manager of the instructors, the Mystery Man. He's the guy in the black muscle shirt.
White Ninja tagged in Invader 3. Now Invader 3's got Mr. Man on the ground. Invader 3, the leg to the throat.
I gotta take care of that noise. It's gonna drive me nuts.
And there's take a look at the ref is not in here to count the pin. He was talking with the White Ninja in Invader 4.
Yeah, Mystery Man, he's a good character.
The Invader 3, he had a possible pin on Mystery Man.
Well, they're all good characters. I mean,
good friend too.
Fixed. They put
Back in the
chairs,
day. I spent a lot of time. I talked to everybody though, Dave. I mean, you know that. I spent a lot of time talking to all you guys on the phone.
exactly.
Man take an Ice Dragon.
And,
Ice Dragon.
I can remember late nights though with Leslie, the Mystery Man. Like we would talk till 2 in the morning on school nights when we were still in school.
In pain.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad to see him get flipped on his head. He's going to go for that.
Dividing the league and what we're gonna do and trying to figure out the next show.
I've got both men in the ring. Mystery.
Double clothesline.
Well, I remember when I was a part of it, we'd have late night
Right now, Mr. Man,
conversations.
he's waiting to take in. Ice Dragon is
Used to do that 3-way calling all the
wrestling
time
to tell
too.
Ninja to get out of there. The White Ninja now leaves the ring, and Invader 3 remains. In the time,
Jason's still reffing.
I think
it's going to switch out here soon.
Oh, what a blow.
Rick Pitts is about to show up.
And
he shows up sober, Dave.
I'm amazed.
I know. I know.
Blow to the head as you take a look.
Another double clothesline with that cast. Whoa.
Ow. Oh, the White Ninja.
Oh, yeah, with the cast.
Another
see, we use the cast.
To get Mr. Man out of the ring.
I'm like, Chris is like, what am I going to do? I'm like, you're going to wrestle. He's like, but am I out of a wrist? I said, we're going to use that. And then we worked out a, I don't want to give it away. You'll see what happens.
No, it's just,
I can't remember how he broke his wrist.
White Ninja's
but it wasn't wrestling.
To the ring. He's in pain. Mr. Man gives another blow to Ninja's head. Another blow.
I'd love to get Macho on here.
Ninja's trying to.
Mike. That's the guy too who said he'll come on with us. He will do it. So it's just a matter of getting Mike to come on. It's a scheduling thing again because he was having to work during our show. So it's just going to be a matter of when he's not working because he said his schedule was going to change and he'd let me know.
Right.
So
I wouldn't call him a referee, Ken.
So Mike will be coming on, I'm sure. It's just a matter of time. And you're right. I would love to. It would be great to get him and Steenerson together.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Mr. Man doing a fine job of keeping Ninja on the far end of the ring, Ken, so that he can't get back to Invader 3 and tag him in.
I totally agree with you. I mean,
they
were tag team for a while.
So that mask you see that the White Ninja's wearing, that was the original white Mr. X mask at first. Then Steve went and dyed it blue. When I said, Steve, why did you do that? That doesn't look as good. And he's like, I know, I screwed it up. So I'll try to get it back to normal. So he said, I'll bleach it back. And he bleached it back, and this is what it turned out like, pink. And so Steve was so fed up, he says, I don't want it anymore. And then Mike took it and had it become the
mask with the ninja.
The White Ninja mask.
Look at the little Invader.
Yeah.
He's biting the Mystery Man in the calf over there.
I think Steve was just trying to get away from the Dr. X look.
Get in the corner, get Invader 3 back in.
I can see that. He wanted to have his own identity.
Yep. And the Mystery Man are all going at it.
Talking about Mr. X.
Looks like we've got almost a pin.
Was that a 3 counter?
It was only a 2 count. I think he was outside the ring, but right now Invader 3.
So you can see the crowd's actually filled up a little bit now after the first few matches. There's more people there. People were still coming in before you know, as the event started.
Hey, flying body press. That could be it.
1, 2. Oh, boy.
Jason slow with the count.
Ice Dragon, a nice job of getting out of that pin by a White Ninja.
Yeah, this shiny blue tarp, though, as to Lewis's point, I don't like it as much. The canvas looked better.
Ninja's got him by the head.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Ninja with.
And I'll tell you something, when we did outdoor events with this blue tarp, oh boy, did that thing get hot. You could fry an egg on it.
Nice close up of Ice
Center
Dragon.
hitting 96.
Yeah, the sun would heat that sucker up.
You were wanting to get off that thing as quick as you could.
Yeah.
You got knocked down.
The light blue canvas wasn't as bad.
Right.
Now Ninja's out, Invader 3's in. Ice Dragon on the mat. There's a potential pin, but the referee's tied
Jamie's got him pinned.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2. By the time the ref counted it, it was actually about a 6 or a 7 count, but the ref only got 1 count down. Now everybody's in the ring. Mystery Man, he's out. Ninja's in. Invader 3's in. Ice Dragon getting beat on by both guys. Mystery Man just flew Invader 4 out. He's laying on the cement.
Oh, Gary, I don't know if you noticed it or not, but you look over the front door. Guess who just showed up? The referee.
It's about time.
The referee. So Rick Pitts just showed up finally.
Here we're in the third match.
Shot of the matches or what?
Gotta wonder if that's a ploy by the Mystery Man. Maybe the Mystery Man gave him some wrong directions.
Yeah, Sky Sports Video News says, look at the size of the camera outside the ring. Didn't realize you were working with those old cameras. Yeah, back in these days, they were big honking cameras.
Just a big goon, Ken.
There's all,
not much can hurt him.
Like, and in the mobile van, they're using 3/4-inch Sony U-matic tapes. So,
especially White Ninja at 140.
So that's why, you know, the quality of these van shots are a little bit better than, say, our porta pack units we do with the VHS stuff.
No, off the top rope with that cast.
You know, anytime the tape gets wider, the quality gets better in the VH in these, you know, analog tape days. So the cast was used, clunked over the head. We had to have a finish with the cast, guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Cowboy Bob Orton finish.
Yeah.
Coming in to beat on Ice Dragon. Now Ninja's fighting on the Mystery
Get out of
Man.
here, Kelsey. You can see that one coming a mile away. Here's the official decision.
Yeah, everybody's getting their hands on the Mystery Man here. And the Ice Dragon.
It's time to stop this match.
And what you can hear, you guys, in all this restoration that I did, because me and Dave are talking over all this, the audio has been cleaned up.
We got to get a referee in here.
You know, from what it was originally. Big, I mean, a lot. Like, I get rid of all that.
It's not as static.
Yeah, I get rid of all that background noise. It's so easy to do that today. To get rid of hiss and all that crap noise that you'd have on tape.
It sure looked like it to me.
And Jamie getting the crowd fired up.
Invader 3 now getting the crowd going on. He's really screaming at the
ref. Exactly, Wayne.
Mystery Man.
The old Sheik on and LKC with the cast. That's exactly what was going through my head with that when we figured that finish with that.
Yeah. He must have paid him off.
Got no idea why. It's about time somebody launches a few chairs in at this guy.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here, Jason Crossen.
Yeah, I've seen some ugly people, Ken Boyer, but that Mystery Man.
Look at that. They're holding up signs and everything.
As much as I like Ken Boyer's commentating, the one thing he says that drives me nuts,
the winner of that,
he always calls it, Dave, a suplex.
Match, it was just announced Mystery Man and
that's a Ken Boyer thing.
White Ninja and
instead of a suplex, it was a suplex.
For a replay.
Well, the replay is going to clearly show what happened there.
What we're going to be seeing is
but Ken, I mean,
no doubt about it.
He was good. He was a good color guy.
3 as White Ninja flew off as Ice Dragon.
Well, we always got lucky with commentators.
We did. We really did.
Mystery Man holding tight to Invader 3.
You can plainly see it. He's
on the top rope.
I think Crusher Crossen
there's a cast
versus Kid Kelsey's the next match coming up, I think, Dave.
He might have broken his head. Look, he's out completely.
1, 2, 3.
I know it was the big match for this card, but we weren't the last match or anything like that.
Crew there, and you can see that he was completely out of it.
Completely. That's absolute dirty wrestling, Ken.
Oh, what else is new out of those guys? Well,
what was the ref doing? The ref just showed up.
No, is this the one where Larry wrestled Starfire?
No, that was a card before. That's the card where they took the ring and everything. Screwed us over.
33.
So that was like 6 months prior to this. Notice how I can fix these slow-mos up? Those slow-mos are all been rebuilt. And that's the great thing about this program I use. It can do really nice slow-mo work now. So that was a big improvement to be able to make proper slow-mos. And I don't know, they had a filter for the lens to do this. But at the time, that was all like new stuff for video.
Card on the line in this match. The fourth match is the NWF World Tag Team Championship between Mr. Macho and Slick Stenerson versus Tom and Jerry Tyler. And Ken, what do you know about Tom and Jerry Tyler?
Yeah, see, they don't have it right. They don't realize the match changed. Trust me, it's going to be me and Kelsey.
Against the Slicks, there's Slick Stenerson and the Macho Man, Mr. Macho.
With the NWF World Tag Team Championship on the line, so Tom and Jerry Tyler from Texas City, Texas, come up to Minnesota, and they've got
Tom and Jerry Tyler are actually the Barbarians.
They go up against Mr. Macho. He's 129 pounds, 5'5". He's from Miami Beach, Florida, and his partner Slick Stenerson, he weighs 217 pounds.
This Slick Stenerson is a giant one.
He's a big guy, and he comes from Portland, Oregon.
That's right. The Slickster is really put up.
Get out of our camera. Jeez. Some of these people here, the fans are crazy.
So yeah, you'll see they're talking about this. This match they're talking about is going to come up after this one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for sure. When you get this close to the action, pretty soon you're going to have to put some wrestling trunks on.
But here's one thing that may simmer things down. We finally got a referee. As we got that crazy fan out of the way, it's about time. We'll come back with a camera shot, maybe.
The crazy fan, that was Jason Crossen.
His name's Rick Pitts, an actual referee. The guy's only an hour and 15 minutes late. We take a shot at him.
There's Rick Pitts.
An ugly shot at that.
The aptly named Rick Pitts.
You know, we've had 3 matches. Jason
Oh, God, Ken could make you laugh.
And be a referee.
That's right, 3 down, 3 to go.
In the ring, announcing here is Chad Rancor, Dr. Destruction Rancor, who was late. He should have been in the match that just ended.
And now, hopefully, this Rick Pitts guy.
So, Chad will be in the Battle Royal, though. What's that?
Maybe Rick had to pick Chad up.
Yeah, I had to drive him home, the guy in the ring here, this announcer here, because he didn't have a ride home, so I had to drive him all the way to Burnsville. It was a long ride for me, from Anoka to Burnsville, and I was tired. I should have just had him stay overnight. There's Kelsey. Good hot stuff Kelsey now.
That's that troublemaker Nick Weller.
Of course, Mick Weller in his corner.
He's got some kind of a machete or something.
The kid in the blue shirt on the ring, out in the ring behind Kelsey, that's Ryan Kelsey, Ref Ryan. Everybody will remember him, like Gizmo and those guys. He's one of our lightweight wrestlers back in the day.
They changed the program again. This is ridiculous. It's about
Kelsey, and he'll be going up against
cable TV North Central. We've got no idea why we don't get any
respect. That's what happens with live television.
I tell you.
But it's Crusher Crossen.
And Kid Kelsey.
The world champion Crusher Crossen.
Now we're going on the world championship.
Kid Hot Stuff Kelly. And here comes the champ. Crusher Crossen.
Crusher Crossen and
this guy's got moves he hasn't even used yet, believe me.
This is for the NWF World Championship.
Beverly Hills, California, the world champion. I've seen him wrestle all over the world, Japan, Italy.
So we've got another change in the card.
Camera's kind of blurry now. It's getting darker. You can see that. So I try to compensate as best I can so it doesn't get too dark on the video. But you got to be careful when you do that because sometimes you can add all sorts of artifacts in when you try to brighten it up.
These guys have had a long-running feud.
Well, you can add artifacts and wash things out.
Yeah, it just gets really weird on this. It's not like it is nowadays where you can fix that a little bit easier.
And Kelsey attacked Crossen with a chain, asking for a
so working a match with Kelsey is a little different because Kelsey can't take the big bumps like the rest of us. So it just means I sell a little bit more myself. But take nothing away from Kelsey. Kelsey was so over for us on the show. I mean, his character was over. So it's like, the fact that he can't bump isn't the worst thing. And it's not that he can bump, he just can't take the big bumps, right?
Yeah.
Like, you ain't gonna see him get suplexed or back body drop too much. Think of like Jesse the Body Ventura. He never did big bumps hardly either. But you know, there's lots of guys back then that always weren't bumping heavily. So I just do what I can with Matt that I know he can handle. You know, when I'm doing my moves, and I try to sell for him. Right?
That's the best you can do.
Right.
He did get rid of that machete he's got. He's just got some kind of bamboo. I don't know what it is. Some stick. Not bamboo. It's hard as rock. He jabbed him with it.
Jason
right now, Crossen trying to pick
interfering
Kelsey.
out there. Mick Weller.
One inside the ring and one outside the ring.
That's very
Let's
true.
see. I've caught up here. There's a Damian Thorne
Right now,
says,
Kelsey really beating on
did you ever have
Crossen's
any
leg.
problem with anyone in the
He
crowd
reminds
that
you, Kelsey
interfered
and
with the
Crossen used to be
matches
best of
or was
friends.
forced to
Crossen
leave the event
trained
because
Kelsey,
of their
but Kelsey had
actions?
a change of heart. Now he's got himself a new manager.
Just thinking about this. I don't want to.
I don't think anybody ever got ejected.
Nobody
Yeah,
had
you
ejected.
remember one fan that got
He's known for a figure four. He's not
a little carried away.
Talking about Jamie?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie McParland, he jumped in the ring,
That's one thing I wanna
slugged
remind you,
Pretty Boy Taylor in the
everyone at
back,
home, the disqualification rule's been waived for this
and we had a
match.
discussion about that. I did with him.
Anything goes, huh?
Anything goes, including
Afterwards.
the title. So if Crossen's disqualified as NWF
Because at
World
that point, Jamie
Championship
wasn't in the
belt
show or
will
nothing.
go to Kid Kelsey.
You mean to tell me that Nick Walker can stand out there all night and brain him with that stick and not even get disqualified?
No disqualification.
But that's the only time. Yeah, you're right. Otherwise, I cannot think of anybody jumping in or interfering or anything.
Hey, look out.
That really wasn't a thing back in the day.
Crossen throws one of his gloves
Nah.
out of the ring and delivers a fierce blow
I mean,
to Kelsey's head. Now a big kick.
Steve
Oh.
would get pretty,
Right
would
across the
irritate.
throat.
I think of all of the wrestlers we had, Pretty Boy Taylor would irritate him the most.
Well, he's got to have eyes
right?
in the
Yeah.
back of his head with that Nick Weller wandering around out
But
there.
even him, he didn't have anybody
I don't know
jump
who's
in
worse, Mr. Man
after him
or
or
Nick
anything
Weller.
like that.
Oh, they're two of the same. Two of a kind. Those two.
Fans, I don't know why they just love it when I would do this move.
You gotta be kidding.
Oh my! Kiss your children.
I never.
Kiss your children goodbye,
He's
Kid
okay.
Kelsey.
I didn't. That's one of those moves that I knew how to do pretty well.
Hate each other, but
And he
really,
got
that's
away with it.
one area that
No, Crusher, you didn't get into what the stipulations of this match
What
were.
in the world's
Oh,
Rick
so
Pitts
yeah, the
doing?
disqualification rule was waived,
He got
which
him.
means if I got disqualified,
Can't believe
the
that
title
Crossen
would
with
change
a big
hands.
blow to the groin of Kid Kelsey.
Very unlike the Crusher for a blatant
I mean, I
blow
can
like
see
that.
things. I mean, fists to the head. And
So all
forearms and
champions'
chairs and
advantage
stuff,
in
but
this
that's
match
one
is
area
taken
that's
away.
off limits in my
Yeah.
book.
Well, no disqualification. Those are the
That's
rules.
true, and Crossen is taking every advantage of it. And back comes Nick Weller with his machete.
Wait a minute.
Kelsey ties up Rick Pitts, and Weller gets a big jab on Crossen with the machete. Pitts telling Weller to stay the heck out of this thing.
The Crusher's out on his feet. Clunk.
Mick Weller, what a character. He just went into our Hall of Fame this year.
Look out,
Yep.
that was a
He
big
throws Crossen
clothesline.
off, clothesline. Oh,
Boy,
Crossen
that was a big
comes
lariat.
down.
A variation of clothesline. You
Yeah, we
hang
didn't
on and
time
just drill
that
him
too
in his head
well.
Right into the mat.
1-2, and
He almost got a pin.
Crossen gets out of it. Crossen, a experienced wrestler. He's the NWF World Champion. He's the NWF National Champion. He's the Florida State Champion. Right now, Kelsey's really going at it.
Was. Gary's like
Kelsey, he holds the
commenting
World
like I
Championship,
am.
the Grand Prix International title, the NWF
These are all we
National
held.
Championship, and the NWF US Championship. And together, those guys hold the NWF World Tag Team Championship, the NWF National Tag Team Championship, and the NWF Six-Man Championship with Mr. X. So
Jeez.
these guys, they've got about 9 titles between them. This is really the classic
Nick Weller's in
match.
the ring.
Weller comes in. Now he's chased out of the ring by Rick Pitts, the ref.
So, like, the disqualification rule waived, and yet Mick Weller's interfering left and right, and there's no disqualification, right?
Well,
Nope.
these guys have
That
so
was-
many
we-
titles.
we
Trying
did
to
that
get
intentionally just to make it add to the
Crossen
drama.
titles, have to build an addition to his house to keep it in.
Here comes that drop kick, you guys,
now
that
Kelsey's
Kelsey
trying
claims
to
I
take away
dislocated
some of
his
those-
jaw
Hey,
right here.
drop kick right in the
Oh,
teeth.
boy.
That'll rearrange
It
the down.
was sweet looking.
And he's gonna have to
and
bail out.
When we get to the end of this thing, you'll see that in slow motion. So you'll be the judge. Take a look at that when you watch it in slow motion.
Crossen with a big blow arm to the back of Nick Weller, who is Kid Kelsey's manager. Kelsey's back in the ring. He's going.
You know, I could do the
over
drop
to
kick 2 ways, Dave.
He's trying to hide
Running
it.
like I did, a running drop kick,
He's a little bit of the concrete.
or I could do
Or
standing.
standing.
Take a look at Rick
Yep.
Pitts telling
I
Crusher
I
Crossen
like
to go
doing
to
the
his
running
corner.
drop kick.
Getting back in the ring now is Kid
Not a lot of guys
Kelsey.
do a running
Where'd he
drop
go?
kick where they throw him in the ropes,
Nick
they go
Weller,
off
he
the
must
ropes
be
and run
passed
into him
out
with a
on the
drop
far
kick.
side
That's
of the
you
ring.
don't see that
Side
often.
now where he's safe down there. He can
At least
crawl
back
out
then,
right any
at
minute,
this
though.
time, you know.
Right.
Time is right.
Crusher Crossen
It
on
was
the ropes.
more
Kid
traditional to
Kelsey.
throw him in the
Kelsey looks
ropes,
a lot stronger now.
stay in one spot, jump,
Look at
and
this,
drop
here comes-
kick.
Oh,
Crawling out from behind the ring.
That
with
was
some kind
much
of a
more
rat.
common.
Look out! Oh, he got him.
Nick
Right,
Weller went
hits in the
underneath
back.
him.
That
Underneath
stick.
him. the mat.
And Rick Pitts didn't have any idea what happened.
Underneath the ring, came up with his machete, hit Crusher Crossen.
Yeah, those
right
cameras
in the
were
back
big cameras,
kidneys.
weren't they?
But Crossen,
See, you
he's
can
one
see a
tough
shot of him
wrestler.
every now
He's
and
got
then.
Kelsey down.
Now
That's how-
everybody
there
carries
it
a
is.
camera
Kelsey's
on.
got Crossen.
Right.
Got his attention, and Kelsey took over.
Nick Willer
They're old
again
tube
with a
cameras. They had
shot
like
at the back
tubes
of
and
the
stuff. So
leg
if they
of
hit
Crossen.
lights and stuff, you'd get these
Crossen
streaks.
into the turnbuckle. He almost hit the pipe there.
I think he
Ken.
did hit the pipe. He threw
Hit
that
it
with
with
Yeah, I
his
did hit
shoulder.
the pipe.
Missed with the head, but he hit it with his left shoulder, and he's got to be an absolute pain.
that was a move I like to do,
Crossen
though. See, these are the
managing
kind of
to
things you
avoid
do with
hitting the
Kelsey. You know, just have
post
him
with
do
his head,
things
but he
that
caught it with
we
his
can
left
work in the
shoulder.
match,
Now
right?
flip back into the ring by Kelsey.
Oh, he got back in the hard way that time.
Kelsey throws Crossen into the turnbuckle, where Nick Willer grabs him with the buckle,
he's got some kind of
ties
a
him
rope.
up.
He's
They're
got
trying
some
to
kind
choke
of a
him.
rope.
Let's see,
Yeah,
Mick
Rick
Weller
Pitts
very
trying to
cleverly
chase
just did
out.
only like a
He's
3 or
got
he
a
waited till the ref got to
on.
3 or 4 and he stopped.
Oh, man.
You know, there's a 5
Suplex
count
there.
for that kind of stuff.
This Nick Weller's got
Exactly.
he's got so many pockets.
Well,
in there, I
technically in
can't
a
believe he's
singles
got
match, it
one
should have been a
object in every
DQ,
one
but
Yeah.
Sticks, ropes,
But again,
chains.
we're doing it purposely.
Right now, Kelsey with Crossen. We've got him in a
I could have
hold.
used some more weight. You know that? I'm looking at myself. I was too
Ex-friends
skinny.
exchanging a few words
Yep.
as Nick Willer prances around the ring. Crossen manages to get out of the hold.
well, that's
Crossen now has
the
got Kelsey. He's
thing.
going to try a pile driver
Back
on
then,
him, but
you
he
know,
can't get him up. At
There weren't a lot
183
of
pounds.
skinny wrestlers that made it.
Right. See, I was trying to do a pile driver to Kelsey, but Kelsey
I
wouldn't
don't know
do
what he
it.
was going for there.
He
Whatever
kind
it
of
was,
fought
he,
me on that one.
He looks to be a little drained because he couldn't get the big kid Kelsey up at all.
I think so. I think Crosby's trying to pile driver on Kelsey.
But see, the announcers
but
covered
Kelsey,
for
as I
us.
mentioned, 183 pounds.
So they
at
couldn't
least.
get him up.
Out of here, will ya?
I'd put Kelsey more about 200 pounds. He's been eating good this summer.
Yeah, that's for sure. This guy's big.
He's been eating good this summer.
Right now,
Crusher's going over the
Crossen
top
is going
rope.
to the top rope. That's 4.5 feet up.
But he got no.
Nick Willer hit him right in the lower back area.
I still kind of
Oh.
Down like a sack up at
yeah, body slam off the rope, top rope.
Crossen holding his head and his groin area. That's where Nick Willer hit Crossen with his machete.
Oh, a big pile driver. That'll rearrange your vertebrae in a crusher. Writhing in pain in the middle of the ring.
Kelsey having a few words with Nick Willer. Comes back with a forearm on Crossen.
Impossible a little bit, though.
Kicks Kelsey, and Kelsey's down. Crossen off the ropes. Oh!
Hey, a big elbow smash. Hey, use the trunks, the referee. Hey, that's a chokehold. That is a chokehold.
Kelsey's got Crossen in the
Break
chokehold.
up.
Gizmo says,
Awesome shot of that chokehold. Great
Beautiful
camera
work by
work.
the camera.
Crusher,
can
you
see
look
that was
like
a complete
you took a
chokehold.
lot of bumps in this
The
match. You really
referee,
make
Rick
Kelsey
Pitts
look
finally
good. Yeah,
broke it
that's what you got
Hey,
to.
he's got
That's what you
something
do.
again.
You know, in a situation
no,
like this.
Kelsey turns
So now,
around.
see, Kelsey just hit the ref.
Rick Pitts is knocked out. Now it's going to be
And I
Sam.
take the object from Kelsey.
Complain about
Hit him with a
Jason
stick. I don't know
Crossman.
what he's got over there. Another foreign object.
I'm gonna go after Mick Weller, but I have the
this
foreign
is really
object.
damn
Rick
near
sees
a
me with
break.
it, rings the bell.
You gotta be kidding.
Pitts has called the match. For some strange reason, he's giving the victory to Kid
All
Kelsey.
set up on
Kelsey to come back
Crusher.
in.
Wait a minute.
All right, Crusher Crossen said he'll be hearing from him, throws the microphone down. So you see him going back in the locker room. There may be some fighting going on there. Kelsey, he's got one of the destroyers.
This is all
Later
just
three there.
we're kayfabing it here, guys.
Ice Dragon trying to keep Kelsey out. He picks
Making it
up
look
some
like I'm
cables,
trying to get
some
into
ropes,
the
fights his way
the
in
heel
corner.
locker
There's
room,
utter
if you will.
Chaos there in the locker room. Not sure if any of our camera guys can get in there. Taking a look at
You know, if we
us
would have
right
had
now,
cameras
trying to
follow
see
us in
what's
there,
going on
we would have
in
been
there.
way
Right
ahead
now,
of the
one the
WWF,
destroyers
right?
just closed the door,
Yep.
so what's going on
WWE
there, we have no
backdoor
idea.
shenanigans, outside the
Recap
ring
what
shit.
happened, though. Crusher Crossen is going up against Kid Kelsey in the NWF World Championship. Rick Pitts, the referee, made a terrible call awarding the match to Kid Kelsey. So the NWF World Champion.
This was
Kelsey,
my
Kid
idea.
Kelsey, who
I wanted
defeated
Kelsey to have
Crusher
the belt.
Crossen.
What did I tell you about this Rick Pitts?
Rick Pitts showed up an
When he
hour and
showed
15
up.
minutes
It was
late.
time for a
I
change.
could have done a better job for Rick.
Make up for the
It's unbelievable.
Oh, anybody
hard
could have.
feelings years
That's
prior.
ridiculous. Well,
Go to
Well,
a
not
break
so
now,
much,
and we'll be back
a
with
little
another
bit.
match right
But
after
really,
this.
it
Please
was
stay
time for a
tuned. You're watching
change. Kelsey was a
NWF
heel,
Championship Wrestling.
wanted to really get this hot stuff character going, so I thought it was time. Here's that dropkick. Now watch that. Think that was a dislocated jaw? I don't know.
I don't think it was. I mean, it looked like your foot barely got him.
Right. mean, of course, that's in that's in like 10 times slow motion or whatever. I think it was.
Right.
Imagine how fast that was too. That's the thing. Okay, now we're switching to the next. Yeah, because I can't put the whole 2-hour video up, Dave, even in the half resolution. So it's in 2 parts for us here. This is now the second part. So we're a little more than halfway through the show. Mr. Macho, Slick Steenerson.
Well, can't wait to get you on here, Slickster, if you're watching.
No, Wayne, that drop kick, bring this question in. The cover of the book was a suplex with Invader 1 being happening on the cover of the book. But the cover of the drop kick picture was used on the cover of the DVD for this show. Yeah, we had a great picture of it. Jason, I don't know who, it couldn't have been Jason. I don't know who got the picture of me doing the drop kick in that match, but somebody did. Because I had a good camera and I had somebody taking pictures of during the matches, and they got an awesome picture of that drop kick. And I thought I was gonna say, was it Jason? But because Jason got a lot of good pictures at the other show. But it couldn't have been Jason. I don't know who got that picture. It was a good picture. Yeah, maybe in the back of the book. It could have been on the back. I bet. Maybe you're right. Wayne's just talking about that the book. Yeah, it was an awesome shot.
Look at these 2 guys here.
Just think though, we didn't have like Wayne. You know what photography? You know, back in these days, it was 35mm film. You only had X amount of shots, and to get a shot like that, you have to just get. You got to be lucky to get the timing right? To get it, and we got lucky on that one. We had a good shot of it. Because they don't know. The guy taking a picture doesn't know what's coming up.
With Kid Kelsey. I thought that was
maybe it is on the cover. I'd have to look at the book. But yeah, if it's me doing a drop kick, it's most likely that one.
Well, here's the deal. It was a disqualification waived, which means if I were to be disqualified, the title would change hands. That's the only way Kelsey would go against me. And I said, okay, they must have had this thing planned out.
Now, the reason I took Ken Boyer's spot,
I should have
Dave,
seen it coming.
is because
that was the case.
When you see the unknown studs coming up, Ken Boyer's one of them.
Yeah.
So he did all the nice commentating play-by-play with this, but then the kind of the trade-off is they get to have their unknown studs match. So. Yeah, like Wayne said, it's a lot of luck sometimes, especially in these days, because you only got so many pictures you can take for the whole show.
There may not be a whole heck of a lot of people here tonight. There was 2 other cards.
See, I'm talking about it right there, Dave.
To say the least, but they seem to all be enjoying the card.
About the NWA being in town and the NCWA show.
Public Access Channel 33, part of your.
But you know what, Dave? We had 70-some people. You know what NCWA had?
Yeah, this is
10?
I think it was 10. Steve told me. Yeah,
now.
Or less. In some out in the middle of nowhere bar in either Ham Lake or Ramsey.
They have an easy advantage at that, but.
Luscious Larry figured he's going to put a show on the same time we're doing our Armory show and show us up. Didn't work too well for him.
Nope.
Weighs in at a meager 129 pounds.
All right. I don't know if he's got it. Whoa. There you go. That taught him a lesson.
That's the thing about Tim.
Big move by Tom and
Strong as not.
Oh yeah, this guy.
You may not look it.
Yeah, he kind of wiry, but he was tough as nails. So was Jerry.
Oh yeah.
Tom's going to put one last
his partner.
Macho picks him up.
Now, Jerry was in the Marines at this point, but he was here on leave.
A neck can snap a neck right in half there.
So he was able to do this one more show with us like this. But otherwise, he went into the Marines, Jerry Waldman, the guy pressing Macho.
He's going to do a power slam here.
Oh, boy. Jerry Tyler with a big body slam of Mr. Macho.
Yeah, quite a slam.
These guys were good. All these guys in the ring, sorry, Dave. But all 4 of these guys were good. Gosh, I think we missed the timber fall. Remember I said I wanted to catch that timber fall? I think it already happened with Troy. Yeah, I wish we would have caught that.
That's what I want to know what's going on.
Because that happened right at the beginning of this match.
Now we could have
Mech
had a
comes
pin.
in with a 2 count.
Now that was a 3 count though, because if
When the
Pitts would've been on
Barbarians
the
came
ball, he
charging
had
in
it.
and they started
It's
attacking
things
him,
like
and
that Weller
Jerry
does just to get that
gives
leave an advantage.
Slick like a forearm or whatever, and
No.
Troy just does that timber
He
fall.
had to be
It
banned
was
from
so
the
good.
ringside area.
He should be him and the
So
Mystery
you guys
Man.
can watch
We've
back
talked
on
all
that
evening.
There's another
afterwards.
headache.
Ban these
Check
guys
out
from
that
the NWF. I don't
fall
know what
that
the
Troy
commissioner
did.
thinks about in these cases.
In the match with Kelsey on the
Rick
October
Pitts is
card, Troy did that at
watching as
least
Tom
a half
Tyler
dozen
He's got
times in
an
that
arm
match.
bar on.
Payne and Mr.
Yeah.
Macho.
There's Troy. That's what I'm talking about right there. Just
His
interfered.
corner is Slick
Oh, there it
Stenson
is right
from
there.
Sweden.
But look at
There it
Jerry's
is.
got him. Knocked
Timber
him right on
fall
his
right
back.
there. He
Yep.
didn't miss it. I knew that was coming up. God, he was good at
Yeah,
that.
this is,
And he did it on the side of the apron, Dave. There's no bounce there.
Well,
Now Mr. Macho.
Exactly.
Weller better
They
look out, Ricky.
for a reason they say that
He
the
got it
apron is the
there.
hardest
Jerry
part of the
Tyler
ring.
chasing Nick Willer around the
Yeah.
ring with a folding chair.
Goodbye.
Now Nick Willer's finally grabbed Nick Willer.
Oh,
Mr. Macho comes to
they
bail out
knocked some
Willer.
heads there. They knocked heads over here. Ran right into each other.
Slick Stenson now getting out of the ring, as is Tom
Now
Tyler.
they better look out for the
Folding
fans.
chairs falling everywhere. Mr. Macho now.
Now,
Nick
who's-
Willer running into the dressing room, however, he's changing around.
Who's in the ring and who's not? Everybody's outside. We better get some security here.
Now on the outside of the ring, that's concrete floor. Tom Tyler just threw Slick Stenson back in. Now Mr. Macho gets a blow to the left shoulder blade and a foot to the throat.
Yeah, Troy was,
Tom Tyler,
Slick
by himself,
Stenson,
taking on both Slick Stenson and Mr. Macho.
in my opinion, probably the most
Now,
talented
Tom Tyler
one.
knows what he's doing in that ring, and he does not play Mr.
All
Macho
around
anybody.
talent of all
Nick
of us was
Weller's
probably the
now in
best.
locker
Yep.
room. He's out of the
If you looked
picture.
at the
A
complete
reverse,
picture.
backbreaker there. He got him in the abdominal section. Good move.
Tom Tyler.
His only
trying to
drawback
hit Mr.
was
Macho, but Rick Pitts, the slowest
he
count in the
wasn't a good
West,
talker.
the East, the North,
Yeah,
and the South.
I mean,
that was Slick Stenson.
I think that would have,
Trying
he
to
would have
hold down
eventually
Rick
got
Pitts.
it
Off the
though.
ropes comes Mr.
Yeah.
Macho. Gets
Oh,
picked up.
reverse hip snap
Hip
there.
snap.
Beautiful
Come on,
move by
Crusher.
Mr.
Yeah.
Macho on Tom Tyler.
He's going to give him a hip toss and reverse.
There, hip
Good
toss.
move.
Now we're talking
Ooh, and
right.
Stenson with a big blow to the kidney of Tom Tyler. Now Stenson running around the ring.
Now Stenerson, yeah.
You know, I can think of a reason why maybe they decided to do the Tyler brothers.
Oh,
tank.
Tom and Jerry Tyler. Why?
Got
Mr.
him right
Macho's
across
on top of Tom Tyler.
Because
Where's Jerry
if you
Tyler?
remember on the
He's right here
October
in the
card,
corner.
Okay, he's back, ready to be tagged in anytime Tommy can make it.
Land
over.
our
Now this here's the
turn
Macho Kiss.
on Conan.
he calls it. That's the
Yeah.
Macho Kiss. That's been. If Tom Tyler can go to this, he's survived it all.
and
I don't believe
they
it.
knew that this was going to be like a
Mr. Macho
one-off.
just about ready to pin
so they
Tom
didn't
Tyler.
wanna-
Slick Stenson comes in.
Well, I think
Jerry
no,
Tyler's in for
no, because
second.
Tim
Now
was
Mr.
very
Macho
evident not
and
wanting to
Tom
be called the
Tyler. And back
Barbarians.
from the locker room is Nick
Yeah.
Weller.
And I think
Tom
they just
Tyler's
wanted to
the
get
first
away
wrestler
from the
I've ever seen get
Barbarian
out of that
gimmick.
Macho Kiss. Hardly of them all do it.
Mr. Macho just taking Stenson.
I think that
Tim
Tim realized they
Nick
weren't
Weller's
big
back here,
Road
the Mystery
Warrior
Man's back
guys,
here,
and they didn't want to have that
Nick Weller's
image.
been walking by you a
Yeah.
lot of times. You notice you just picked up a wrench. That's what we have to ring the
I think
bell
that's what
here
it
at
was.
ringside.
Oh,
Nick
do it.
Weller, the slippery man himself, brought out, snatched that
Yeah, I can
wrench,
tell by
trying to
looking at
hit
Rick in this match, he's
one of the
not
wrestlers,
drunk.
Either Tom or Jerry Tyler.
I tell you something about Weller. He's a lot like the Mississippi River. He goes on and on and on, and he has a big mouth at the end of it. And I'm going to get my hands on him
Rick
yet.
Weller.
Collects a lot of silt in that
Well,
mouth.
silt in that.
So as you can see, he must be filtering what he says with that whatever it is around his face.
Either that, Crusher, he's so ugly we can't see him without that disguise.
Well, he comes from Australia. That's all I know about him.
That's
all I want to
the
know
Sky
about him, too.
Sports
Think he
Video
might be
News has a
half
question.
kangaroo.
Says,
Right now in the ring
or comment?
is Jerry
Crusher,
Tyler
you look really
and
good in
Slick
this match.
Stenson.
How
Flying
old
back in
were
is
you
Mr.
when
Macho.
this?
Now Tom
when you
Tyler's
made this
in.
video?
Here Rick
Go
Pitts
again.
laying
We've
on the
gotta
ground.
Gotta get some more control.
I was
Who's the legal
Mr.
man?
Macho just
I was
got thrown out.
17
Tommy goes back to his ring and now
because this
Slick
was
Stenson and
1987,
Jerry
so I'd have been
Tyler
17.
And Rick Pitts,
Yep,
oblivious
I was going
to
to
it
say you
all.
would have been about 17, 18.
Well, we've got one
Yeah,
heck of a main event
17
coming
years
up
old
here,
here.
as I happen to know. The unknown studs from last week.
Right now, Mr.
I've had
Macho
just about enough of this.
threw
I'm
a
supposed to be
foreign object at Crusher Crossen.
a shirt. I'm hurt.
Nick Weller was
Give it back.
antagonizing me at the commentating
Won't
table
do it, the
there.
smell might.
We-
Now Mr. Macho getting
We
ready
don't
to
need it
throw
at
his shirt
ringside.
back.
We'd like to breathe healthily here, so get it on out of here.
Mr. Macho puts up a finger that's unmentionable here on public access.
Okay, so Sky Sports says
Well, I'm gonna have a lot to say at the
that
Battle
is the
Royal,
same
I'll tell you.
age as Ricky now. Well, Ricky's 16.
Right now in the ring,
Um,
Jerry Tyler.
How?
and
I bet it's the
Slick
same age
Stenson
as
just
Ben
Mr.
Nelson, who I
Macho.
talked
Macho
to
took
on
off his
Forward
shirt.
last week.
He's now back in the ring.
How
He's
would
got
you
his headband
compare
on, couple
yourself
throws,
to
delivers some
then
head
to
blows
Ricky
to
now?
Jerry
Well, if we're
Tyler.
talking
He's
Ricky,
just teasing him. He's just teasing him, and he's gonna get him mad though.
Kind of looks like Muhammad Ali in there.
Okay.
Wrestling.
I would say for old school style wrestling, I was right up there. You know, I maybe didn't have all the right proper. I mean, I could have been better at it as far as putting things in combination a little bit better.
Right.
But for the time period, I could do pretty much anything that we were doing in the ring at that time.
Right.
These guys are playing games in that ring.
For Ricky, where he's at in his career and the style of wrestling today, I think he's fairly well too. But we're trying to compare apples to oranges here a little bit, just in the style of wrestling.
Something's going on. I don't.
So it's a hard one to answer. I'll say this though, Ricky doesn't rely on big high spots and stuff like that. If you look at his matches, he's very British Bulldog style. He, you know, he just does little things that are very easily manageable in a match, and I think I could work with him. If I was back at this age, I could definitely work a match with him. Wouldn't be a problem.
Stenerson ain't gonna tag in. He's not tagging in. He's saying no.
Here's what we were talking about this morning.
Tom Tyler. Slick Stenerson. Make that slick wimp Stenerson for not tagging in.
What's that?
Letting his partner, Mr. Macho, take
Slick
all the
not tagging in.
Tommy Tyler.
Right, yeah, like...
No, that's not right. No, why would Stenerson do that?
It's just Troy playing the gimmick.
These guys got the world titles.
Exactly.
Gonna be playing
He's not afraid to get in there.
If they want to lose the titles, they might as well keep it.
No, Troy would have been the type where, like I said this
Stenerson's
morning,
not tagging in.
Troy's the type.
Self-preservation's about the only thing that comes
If
to
somebody
my
got
mind.
stiff with him, he'd give a
Mr. Man
receipt.
continues to walk
Yep, he would
All
give
I
him
wanna
receipts.
know is what is Stenerson having the palm of his hand? I've been seeing
This
stuff
is classic
circle out like
Stenerson here, you
sand.
guys. Classic Slick Stenerson. He did that. I don't know. I've lost count how many times he's done that in matches.
Sugar sand or something.
He did it at Sandberg. He did it in the garage.
But Tyler breaks free.
What's Stenerson
Now
doing
Joey
in there?
Tyler's going up against Mr. Macho. Stenerson's in there.
Did it in the October Armory card. It's just classic Stenerson.
Yep.
I don't believe it.
Stenerson.
These guys
Hall
are
of
keeping
KM's
it up.
breaking loose. Slick Stenerson.
And what that was, guys, it wasn't salt. It was flour.
Some fan just jumped up and is on Nick Willer.
So he'd always throw flour, and that way it wouldn't burn your eyes. But it looked good. Yeah.
Just shot at Mr. Macho.
Now what about Stenerson and Macho? Now look at this. Now they're
They're
best
giving
friends.
the victory to Stenerson and Macho. No way.
Just to kind of show you the kind of ribbing Troy would do. You know, he loved having. One time we had a match where he could be like a anything goes match, and he'd have all these different things. And he had brought a squirt bottle of Windex, and he taped over it. And he put mystery mix. And we said, Troy, what's mystery mix?
Got no idea what
Battery acid.
What's the ruling, ref?
We're like, you're not squirting anybody with battery acid. It was just Troy ribbing us. There's nothing bad.
Exactly.
But he had everybody, you know, thinking, oh my God, I don't want to get sprayed whatever's in that bottle.
Well, wait a minute now, Bits. What about the flour? Look at the mess in the ring. I think we should have a reversal of decision. You disqualified?
It was Stenerson who threw in the flour.
No, it was Stenerson. We got it. I think we should change the decision. It was Stenerson.
So yeah, we do replay here. This was all not on the DVD, Dave.
We're gonna have Rick Pitts
Exactly.
take a look at this if we can get it up.
So Rick's watching the
People in the
replay.
truck trying to get the replay.
Okay, it's coming up.
There's Tommy Tyler right there with Mr. Macho putting a hold on him. On the corner of our screen, we can't see Stenerson. That's the man who threw it. But Stenerson wasn't in the picture.
But it obviously came from this corner, so it had to been change the decision.
He's going to change the decision. Okay. Rick Pitts has just changed the decision due to our replay. He's disqualifying Mr. Macho and Slick Stenerson, and now the victor in the NWF World Tag Team Championship is Tom and Jerry Tyler. Good job, ref. Good job. Finally, Rick Pitts did
Belts
something.
cannot change hands on
Instant replay they
disqualification.
got in the NFL.
Right.
Now we've got it in the NWF. And the NWF
I don't know
World
if that's
Tag
gonna.
Team
I don't know.
Championship.
Now this decision's got to be a second-hand decision. We don't know if that's gonna last.
But Rick Pitts is the
Oh, I see
official
Bob
ref.
Pfeiffer
Instant
behind me
replays.
there.
I don't know if they'll
Beautiful
go
Bobby
for it.
Ferrari.
But as of now, the winners are
Yep.
Mr. Macho and are Tom and Jerry Tyler.
Is the commissioner of the NWF here, Crusher? To make a ruling on that?
I don't know who that young man is.
Getting a lot of camera time though.
We're trying to find out if the NWF is going to uphold Rick Pitts' reversal.
Are you refs?
Now that looks like one of the Hoffmans. One of the Hoffman kids. John Hoffman's family, I think. Yeah, Damien makes a good point. He says, you guys were the first to ever use replay to change the results of a match. He loves it. Yeah, instant replay. It was brand new, you know, like, if you think about it, back in the day, wrestling didn't know how to do it. Like, you know, they just didn't know how to do instant replay for, you know, changing decisions and stuff back in the day. See it a whole lot.
Right.
So the 18-man Battle Royale is coming up, but I think the next match is going to be the Unknown Studs versus the Rock and Roll Express, which would be Chris Barger and Mike Bauer. So the older kids that we had. And
Yep.
And here they are now. Now, the thing is, this was something they pulled on me. It was normally the Unknown Studs would be Ken Boyer and Bob Pfeiffer, the guy, their manager. He would have been the other Unknown Stud. The guy who's the Unknown Stud here is actually Steve Engstrom. He just showed up and took that spot, and that was something they all planned. They didn't really tell me about it, though. So I was kind of caught off guard on this. Now, Steve and I still have a little bit of bad blood at this point in time, but knowing how good Steve was in the ring, I didn't have any problem with it either, you know, because he can bump, right? So I wasn't.
That would be Steve right there.
And one thing you got to realize, guys, when something like this happens, you've got a card going on. The show is going on. People are waiting. There's no time to argue about it or try to figure things out or whatever. So I went with this, and then you do all that other talking afterwards. And I believe I said, Ken and Bob, when you guys switch something up like this, you got to let me know. You know, so those conversations were had, but not during the show. We go with what they're doing, then we have a discussion afterwards. And I know I specifically remember talking to them about this. Because I was still kind of pissed, you know, of what happened with Larry at this point in time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Bobby Ferrari just joining us. Bobby, what do you have to say about this match?
But it's not the time to get into it during the show. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So that's something I learned way early on. You just got to keep the production going. Then we'll have the discussions after.
I mean, don't make no comments about the mask right now, because if these guys took off the mask, you'd see probably Burt.
Kind of a case of, though, it's better to
assholes.
ask
Look at this.
permission.
Huh?
Or it's better to beg for forgiveness than ask permission.
Come on.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to announce beautiful Bobby Ferrari, you can't be
Steve was decent to me. He didn't this night. Like, he didn't. In fact, he was very cordial towards me. I think he was trying to mend bridges even back then.
Yeah.
So I think he's the one who told me right then. He goes, just so you guys know, Larry only had 10 people show up at his show, because he had just showed up from Larry's card. He only had 10 people there. So that's how I know it was 10. Steve told me. So that's Chris Barger in the ring right now. For a long time, he was our announcer. You know, he did a lot of the announcing for us, but he was always part of the Rock and Roll Express.
Let's see, that would be Ken in the ring.
Yeah, Ken Boyer. The guy who was commentating, now he's in the ring in one of these white masks.
Here's a look at
and
it's kind of a gruesome
Ken,
shot.
you know, for a guy that's around 30 years old, could bump.
The lightning train.
I mean, he could do it.
Unknown Studs. We just call them Unknown Stud 1 and Unknown Stud 2, and that's Stud 1.
That's ace.
But you know, it's kind of like Ken's willing to come and do all our announcing for all those matches as long as he can have his match type of thing, right? That's a fair trade-off. And these guys needed opponents anyway.
Ace in the ring right
and this was like a long-running rivalry. We had these guys have a match at the March card as well.
Left tonight will be the 18-man tag.
So this is like a rematch, really.
Please stay tuned if you're not enjoying this one.
Oh, nice move, AC baby.
The Unknown Stud Ace.
And Bob Pfeiffer being as the acting manager. Perfect.
Nice holding it. Nice.
Yeah.
It's a perfect setup here for this. I mean, Bob's a talker.
Oh, yes.
He's the guy commentating with Gary now.
Yeah. Well, Bobby
Ferrari, the big.
Come on, Bobby could always run his mouth about something.
Big cheerleader for the.
You know, he started out as Larry's manager, right?
Yeah.
And I told him early on, I said, Bob, why are you his manager? Your style of management shouldn't be a face manager. You should be a heel.
Well, I might take
So
a
that's
break
what
here
he's
for just
doing
a
now.
moment to go
He's
and
a
talk
heel.
to one of my
He's,
boys,
he's a
and I'll be
heel
back to give you
manager.
some more insight and wisdom into this.
But I was trying to tell him
telecast
it just
that's
wasn't.
obviously lacking it.
Ooh,
You know.
Bobby Ferrari, you better
I remember they
take
did a
off, man.
thing. I think it was at the dry dock where
Now Bobby Ferrari has just left us.
Larry and Bobby
Thank goodness
finally
for that.
split up. You know, and
The only thing this thing's lacking is some quality
so they were
wrestling
building
on
up to
behalf
it
of
for
the
a
Unknown
while.
Studs. And now joining us at ringside, what's your name, young man?
Invader 3.
Jamie
Invader
McFarland
3,
at the
Invader
mic
3,
now.
who did an excellent job in one of those tag team matches just a while ago. He's got the mic.
Invader 3.
And hopefully he's not going to give it back to Bobby Ferrari.
Well, I don't really get along with Bobby Ferrari. I remember on March 20th and all the television tapings we had, and I still don't get along with them. But
Everybody knows him. That's
these
Jamie
Unknown
McFarland
Studs, I
talking.
had the chance to watch them last March 20th on the card.
You know, I
at
can't wait
Anoka
for our
Armory,
trip,
and,
Crossen.
They didn't
Yeah.
do so hot.
See Jamie again?
I have the microphone.
Yep.
Excuse me. No.
Right now, Bobby Ferrari.
Bob
Yeah.
Pfeiffer's trying to get the
Unknown
mic
Stud
back from
3
Jamie.
or-
That's why
or
Jamie goes,
Unknown Stud
no,
3, excuse
I
me.
have
Invader
the
3
microphone.
Starting to wrestle.
No, you're not going to get it back.
For the microphone. Bobby Ferrari's picking up a machete. He's getting ready to cut the microphone wire. Give him the microphone. This stuff costs a lot of money, Bobby. You should put that machete down. I'm taking the machete back. I'm keeping that on hand for the 18-man tag team.
Yeah, I don't think Bob took too kindly to Jamie taking his place.
Don't need to say anything. Look at these athletes. They're just giving these two a wrestling exhibition.
Right now, Deuce is in the ring up against one of the Lightning
Good for
Train
Jamie.
members.
Trying to
What
stick
an
up to
athlete
Bobby,
this
though.
kid. Look at that. Nice, clean moves, showing the referee that it was a nice, open hand. Oh, no.
Now Ace and Deuce are teaming up on the Lightning Train.
Yeah, get that guy out of there.
Ace
Look
gets
at-
back
You
into
know,
the ring.
There
Mike
they
and
are, the
Chris,
Lightning Express
they were
both
all,
in the
these
ring at
guys
the
were
same
all
time,
good.
man.
They could work a good match.
I don't know the way I saw
Yeah.
it, Bobby, was Ace and Deuce were the ones who instigated that.
Well, I think there was a tag over there in the corner.
Mike was
a lot of
always,
people
like-
just didn't see it.
Little after I did.
Right
Yeah,
now, Deuce is in
and
the
Chris
ring.
in the ring. You
So
know,
they
Mike, I
just
think, is a
properly
little
went out
bit
of the
more
ring,
polished
even
than
though the
Chris
referee made a
as far as
mistake.
in the ring, but I mean, they're fortunate that they have Steve
Rick
Engstrom in
Pitts
there
taking a
because
look now with
he can make
Deuce.
anybody look like
One of the Lightning
$100
Train's got-
bucks,
Deuce has really got his
Yeah.
arm
$100
pinned.
million bucks. I mean,
Lightning Train
Steve's
guy
that
shaking his
good.
head saying, no, I'm not pinned. I'm all right. Oh, Deuce.
Yeah.
How have you instructed these guys, Bobby Ferrari?
Yeah.
That can really bust a guy's arm.
Well, the guy's going to have to add some meat to that arm so that won't happen. This is professional wrestling, brother. This is no kid's game.
The Lightning Train. He's got a broken arm now. Are you proud of your Deuce boy?
Well, if he's got a broken arm, he might as well break the other one. Then we can let him wrestle on his back and just use his legs. Maybe we'll break both the legs too, and it'll be like a fish
You know,
out of
that's
water,
one
huh?
thing I will give
I
Steve
don't know.
is
I hope the commissioner of the
if he
NWF
liked you,
gets a
he'd
copy
work
of this
real well
tape.
with
That
you.
seems like premeditated something to me.
yeah.
Oh, look at
I
this
don't
nice
know,
move
Dave.
out
I think
there.
it was just a
Look,
weird
nice tag, nice
fluke
move
thing
there,
with you
clean.
that night for whatever
Deuce is out,
reason.
Ace
Like
is
that's
in.
just so
Picks him up nice and
unlike
clean.
Steve.
Hey.
But he did. I mean, I don't argue with you. He
Look,
definitely was
there
stiff
it
with
is
you.
again, a flagrant violation of the rules.
But I've never seen him like
Now,
that
look at- what
hardly
do you got
ever.
in the ring?
though.
2 Lightning Expresses again. My
The only
boys
other
are
time
out
I
there
seen him get like that was at the dry
completely out
dock
of the way.
with the Destructors.
Right now, he's
He's
checking back in against one of the
kinda being a little
Lightning
stiff
Train.
with
The
those
Lightning
guys,
Train,
and I
they
was like-
come from Boston, Massachusetts. They've been
know,
wrestling for
not
a year
letting
and a
them
half
get their
professionally.
spots.
They
You
joined
know
the
what I mean?
NWF
Yep.
back in May of 1986, and they are an excellent tag team. Over the Unknown Studs, really beating one of the Lightning Train's head into the turnbuckle. Now up against the post.
The thing that's
I gotta
nice
give
though
him
to
credit.
have
That was a good
Steve in
block there
there
on that
is he can take
flip into
and
the
you'll
ropes.
see him in this match.
Off the ropes in the
He can
turnbuckle.
do
Here
some
comes
really
Ace. Deuce
nice
holds on.
bumps.
Oh, what a blow. Rick Pitts trying to break him up. Ace has
And
absolutely
that
no
really makes
mercy.
the match
Come on, Ace.
good.
Come
Here,
on,
like-
ref. Leave these guys alone. Let them
He's
wrestle.
coming in the ring now, I believe.
This guy don't get paid for this.
I don't know, maybe he
wants to
wasn't
mix it
tagged
up with
in.
the Unknown Studs. I can arrange that pretty easily.
Is that a challenge to Rick Pitts?
Oh,
Referee?
yeah,
Well,
just dove right out of the
oh, look
ring.
at- the ref
Oh
tripped
boy, he's trying to do what I did. Only
got
he
in the way and
did.
tripped
He
him.
looked like he landed right on his
him.
head.
Did you now look at this.
Well, he was
The
holding
Lightning
his head
Train
when he got
kicks
up.
Deuce out. Ace is trying to get back
Well, he
in.
like he missed the post and went right into the
You
floor.
know, the comment you made a little while ago about showing this tape to the NWF commissioner, that James Ding Dong, whatever his name is, Wolford, was that his name? James J. Wilson, I believe. Well, that's fine. I'll show the tape to this guy. I
Bob
wanna see if
Pfeiffer.
this
I used to do the
referee
Saturday
tripped my
afternoon
man
special.
in that
Remember, Bob
corner.
was my co-host.
Yep.
I first started doing it with Chris Barger, and then
I
Bob
don't know,
took
both
it
teams
over,
really
and
playing
he was
dirty.
like my co-host. So it was like a Johnny Carson show, you know. Me and Bob fight. Bob was like the
that's your observation.
sidekick.
Nice, clean.
Yeah.
Get that camera out.
I know you came
These
on the
men
show,
are trying to
Dave.
wrestle.
I remember you.
yeah.
Okay, now we've got
Yeah.
Vader 3.
I was there anytime I was asked to come.
Yeah.
I don't think we had an announcer, but looking at the notes here, it says that this is the final round for the United States Tag Team Tournament. So just want to remind everybody about that.
Good thing Jamie brought that up.
Well, there's your champions.
Okay, thank you very much, Invader
Right there.
3.
There's your champions with the masks on.
Because, yeah, they didn't
And
mention
I
that.
question you one more time, beautiful Bobby Ferrari. Why do they need
Yeah,
masks?
so
Like
Sports
I said,
Video
you know,
has a question
these
for you,
guys,
Dave.
Just looking at their bodies, the physical specimens that they are, they get cards.
Dave, were you
and
involved
letters
with this show?
constantly. If they were to take
No,
off
I
these
was not
masks,
involved with
can you
this
imagine
show. I
what would people
was.
think if they saw these two
I couldn't resist the urge to
wonderful
go to the
looking athletes who
NWA
look
show.
like Tom Selleck and Burt Reynolds underneath those
Yeah,
masks?
so Dave was over at the
we'd
Met
be so
Center.
inundated with cards, flowers from girls.
Now we're
presents.
the Mall of America.
We just can't do this.
Yeah.
Well, it might help our cable ratings if they did take their masks off, so stay tuned, folks.
Well, like I said, you know, they got to have a little bit of anonymity because it would just be too
Think
much
about
for
this.
them to
Ken's
cope
like in
with.
his 30s
Well,
taking
right
bumps.
now-
There's Steve. So this is the kind of stuff Steve will give you in a
They're
match.
turning to drugs and things like that. Well, these guys, they don't need that. They're
You know, he
athletes.
really can sell for us, and then
Athletes
like
with
he can
masks.
fly and he can bump high.
Oh
And
my God,
I just
that
watch him and
ace
you
just
know,
got
when they
his head
start working him.
bashed in. Bobby Ferrari,
Look at this.
he just got
The whole
bashed.
Ric Flair
Ace's
thing out of
head
the
got
ring.
bashed into the
Steve could
bell
do
here
anything.
ringside by one of the lightning
I still
trains.
tell you,
We've
Steve
lost all
Steve was as
power.
good at bumping as anybody I'd seen back in the day. He really was. For the
Oh, yeah.
bumps.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I tell you, they're going to pay for that.
I don't know if they can hear us. Greg.
I will
I
never.
don't know. Are we back?
I mean,
I
as
don't know,
bad
we're on.
as
Our
things might have went
monitor's
sideways for
shocking.
Steve and I,
This is a
but I'll
couple
tell you what,
$100
I gotta
TV
give
they
credit where
just
credit's
destroyed.
due.
Got no
There's
idea
one
what's
Gotta
going
give
on
the
hell.
here,
devil his
folks,
due.
but
It's
they
one
tell
hell
us
of
in
a
the truck
bumper.
that they can hear us.
Yep.
Okay, here we find it. It's just a power plug, I believe. We've got
Camera
a
missed that
fan
one, but
here.
another
Thank you
big
very
bump
much for
by
plugging us
Steve.
back in. And we should be on shortly. But
Oh,
now, the
they
Lightning
bumped
turn
it.
at the miraculous
Yeah,
comeback.
they lost
Juice
their
is now
monitors.
pinned, and our monitors back
Oh, they
on.
got it
Thank you
back
very
on.
much.
That kind of stuff happened. You're out of
Right
luck.
now,
You know,
Lightning
you had to have
Train just
somebody
takes
come along
back
and
in
try to
his
hook you
friend,
back
and right
up.
now, Deuce is in the ring. He's taking some tortures. Arm
These mobile
twisted.
van shots, there's a lot of setup
Ref, it's a
involved,
tag
Dave.
match, one man in the ring at a time.
That was unbelievable.
Cables,
Truly, when
monitors,
Ace's head got bashed
getting
into
the
that bell.
headsets
Now
working, all that
there's an
stuff.
example again right
Getting the
there.
backstage monitors
Supposed
working
good guys,
right.
fan
Yeah.
favorites, whatever, but look at the tactics they used again here, right outside.
Yeah,
the
'cause I
ring.
had them wire
Honor.
up a feed
That's
into the
illegal.
locker room
Don't
for
tell me
us.
different.
Well, I've got to agree
Yep.
with you there, Bobby Ferrari.
Now
That
look at
was-
this. Now look at this. Look at this. Up at the top.
And the
rope.
stuff they
Two
were
men
doing,
in
the
the
instant
right after
replays and
Deuce
stuff,
comes
that
back
was
and
all
goes,
new
oh!
stuff for us back
Oh,
then.
my.
You know, I'm ready to jump in there.
I mean, that was new technology for us at that time. To be able to
Ace
do an instant replay
stands
on the
side of
on the
ring
fly.
with Deuce
That
getting
was- you had to have
slaughtered
two
now by the
decks
Lightning
recording.
Train.
That's not as
That's
easy
on
as
my
it
hair
sounds
on that
like
one,
today.
Tyler.
No, it still looks fine. Beautiful,
Yep.
Bobby.
Thank you.
We may get you on camera later so some of the viewers at home can see and make up your mind if you do think he's beautiful,
Women.
Bobby.
The women viewers. I don't care about the guys. That don't bother me. I mean, I just want the females out there. Okay. Look at Ace. Isn't he something?
Yeah, if he's Ace, in reality,
Now, look
he's
at
Steve
Deuce over
Engstrom,
there. Now,
a.k.a.
see,
Pretty Boy.
they were pulling their hair if they could. Instead, they had to pull the back of the mask.
Pretty Boy Taylor.
That's right. Now my men will go out and recoup a little bit.
Both are out, but they do have to get back in within a 10 count, and Rick Pitts
There's a
is
question
yet
for
to
you,
begin the
Dave,
count.
coming in.
The Lightning Train now discussing some strategy.
All right.
in the corner.
Gizmo
That's what
says,
we're
Dave,
looking at
who
right
did
now.
you enjoy
Ace and
working with
Deuce,
in the
they're
ring,
gonna
and who did
walk
you
around
not
dazzled.
like working
Now
with
they're
in the
kicking over
ring?
some chairs and challenging some fans. I don't know if
Like
we
I
get a camera shot of that.
like I've said before,
There's
the
Deuce.
only match that I've ever
We're getting every word of
complained
that,
about
Deuce.
at all
Deuce is challenging me.
was my match
I've got my
with
machete
That's right.
somewhere.
Pretty Boy.
Don't worry, guys. I'll
And
get you on
Thandar,
the
but
tape a
that,
little bit
it was
later
more
on
Pretty
today.
Boy
Deuce.
that was giving you a
Yeah.
hard time.
Still waiting to get back in the ring.
Yeah, it was more
I
Pretty
don't know
Boy.
where my machete went, but I
And
wanna
as far
find it.
as
Shouldn't have something
who I
like that
enjoyed
anyway,
working
Tyler.
with, I enjoyed
It's
working
that
with
Nick
everybody.
Weller
I
guy
mean,
from Australia.
Crusher and I have talked about it.
Right
I
now,
was one of
it's
those
been
guys
announced
who
that there are
showed up
2 minutes
and
left in this
would
match.
be like, okay, who am I
This
working
guy's
today?
trying to wear a suit
Okay.
and tie and outclass Bobby Ferrari. Don't give me that.
And
You know,
Okay.
no matter what I was told,
No, Ace and Deuce. Ace throws Deuce into one of the Lightning Train. The Lightning Train goes down.
I was
I mean-
the guy who would
Rick Pitts tells Ace to get out of the ring.
Work wherever I was needed.
Down the lightning train.
Yeah.
1, 2. Oh,
I mean,
a 5 the way they had to wait for that stupid referee to get in
and
place.
Dave's heart was in it.
The guy is so
You know,
out of
like
position. I
no
counted
matter
5
how
before he
hard
got there.
of a
The
beating
lightning
he'd
train
take in
right
some of
now,
these
they're
matches,
on
like
their
with Pretty
comeback.
Boy,
Deuce,
he would
what
be
a
back the
throw.
next show.
That'll be
You know,
Oh,
Dave would
lightning
not
train
quit.
goes down face first. However, Deuce is talking with Rick Pitts.
And I think
the
that's
ref.
what Steve was
Nobody's
trying
got
to
a
get you
chance
to do,
pin the
Dave.
lightning train. Deuce takes over to Ace. Ace throws Rick Pitts.
He
in
was
the
seeing if
lightning
he could
train.
make me quit.
Yeah, he's testing.
Deuce is
And
talking to Deuce as Ace
I
starts
just-
to really bang the lightning train's head into the
I wouldn't give up.
This ref some
And that's
kind of
what
a
the
weirdo
problem
or
was with
something?
Pretty
He's
Boy
taking
that
those
you're
pins.
asking Gizmos. He would, and there were others that tested Dave too,
Now
but
Ace and Deuce
not
both
like
back
Pretty
in the
Boy
ring.
did in that match.
Ace throwing.
Yeah, normally
lightning
people
train
would
back at turnbuckle. Oh!
they get a little stiff with me,
Great move
but
by the lightning
Yeah.
train. Lightning train was
when they
quick
realized
against
that
the
I was
turnbuckle.
willing
He
to take
ducked
it and
just
keep
at the
going,
second. Ace
they
threw
back
Deuce
off.
into the turnbuckle. What do you think
Where-
about that move, Bobby Ferrari?
There's
When
a
I was
nice
in the
back
ring-
body grab. Sorry,
He
Dave.
was 10 feet in the air on that one.
when I was in the ring with
Oh,
Steve,
Deuce
he
is
was
down.
just
There's gotta
straight
be
up
just about a
stiff.
minute left in this
He was
one.
stiff, and
Come on,
it's
guys.
hard to believe it's the same guy we're
Lightning
watching here
train
doing all these
throwing Deuce up
amazing
against the
bumps,
big
right?
Drop kick.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Oh,
That actually
Here we
was
go,
not a
1,
good.
2.
Like
Light
I've seen
interference
Steve
by
take
Ace.
my
Pitts
drop
makes
kicks where he
no
kicks
call.
his feet up and
Deuce
just
remains
makes
out.
it look
Bobby Ferrari has
beautiful.
left the announcing table.
And there's
He's getting
that
ready
wasn't
to
Steve's
harass
best
Pitts
there,
a
but
bit. And joining us
I'm
now
telling
at
you,
the
Well,
Steve.
the
microphone
drop
is
kick was also a little bit low.
Jason
Yeah.
Crossen. Crossen, excuse me, I'm mixing up with
That's kind of a
Crossen.
mess up.
Right now we've got a pin.
There we go.
The lightning train wins. And Bobby Ferrari's got no comment. He's just standing.
The
at the
U.S.
edge of the
Tag
ring
Team
in utter
Champions,
disbelief, but the lightning
Steve,
train
that we
pulls
never
the US
really
Tag
had a
Team tournament
defense with.
victory over the unknown studs.
But they got the
Bobby
belts.
Ferrari's coming back for the microphone, which he declines. He's got no comment. The lightning train with the victory. And the belts.
And I don't know where
Taken
these
down by
belts
Rick
came
Pitts, and
from,
he's
but they
getting ready
have
to turn over
belts.
to the lightning train.
Um,
But Ace and Deuce have
Well, I
not
was
yet
just
left
going to
the
ask
ring.
if we actually had belts
This match
for
will
him.
go
or-
on.
Yeah, like Rick's handing it to him.
Now Deuce shows Pitts what he was hit by allegedly by the lightning train, some type of chain object with
So
a
they did
handle.
have some belts. I don't know where they came from.
Sure.
Very mysterious.
I don't know who made them. I just don't know. I can't remember. I cannot remember that one, guys.
However, the unknown studs, Ace and Deuce, have put their hands up, thinking they're in victory.
So now we got that battle royal where all
Now for
shit
a
went
replay of the
south.
Victory pin of Deuce by the lightning train. Here
And
we
that'll
go.
be the
Both
finale
Ace
of
and
this
Deuce
one.
get pinned, get thrown down.
Yep.
There's a look at Deuce as one of the lightning train guys lifts up Deuce's left leg. 3 counts counted by Rick Pitts, and the lightning train gets the victory.
But, you know, I
Bobby
mean, even
Ferrari
though Steve
has
was stiff with me,
left the ring, he's still
I was a
in the
kid.
Anoka County
He was trying
Armory.
to see what I could take.
Right now,
I took it.
believe he challenged
No hard feelings
the
years
lightning
later.
train to take
Right.
Ace and Deuce, and Ace and Deuce are running away.
And Dave
Think Bobby
totally
Ferrari said, "If you're
confronted
so
Steve
tough,
on that,
lightning
remember?
train, why don't you take on our guys this time?
Yep.
And the lightning
said,
train
"Why were you
confronted
stiff?"
him on this show about it.
Ace and Deuce
Yeah,
back into
they
some
had a
locker room.
conversation.
He has a chair. Repeat, he has a
Ace
chair.
came back with a chair. Bobby Ferrari instigating his
You
men
know,
to
it's
come
not
out
like
in
I'm
a
talking
victory,
behind his
but
back
he's
and
retired himself into a back
running my
locker room.
mouth.
And the title remains
Yeah.
in the hands of the lightning train.
You know, I confronted him
Ace
about
and
it.
Deuce hiding in a closet.
I was asked a
Gentlemen,
question
coming
and
up
I'm
next,
honest
we have
about
the
it.
main event battle royal, so stay tuned.
Big 18 man, please stay tuned. Coming up right after this.
People trying to get on camera in the back there.
And he throws the paperwork.
Yeah. "18-man battle royal." And for some reason, Gary kept calling it the 18-man tag team battle royal, but it was,
Yeah.
wasn't a tag team battle royal. It was just a mishap on his part.
You know,
all the guys getting in the ring for the 18-man.
that's the one thing about wrestling that you have to have is you have to have a short memory on negative things.
Yeah. So the plan was, well, we'll talk about this finish here as we get to the end of the battle royal, I guess, huh? But the plan, the way the Battle Royal was supposed to go, and the way it ended up going, was not the way it was
totally
planned.
separate things.
Yeah.
Total war here. Total war.
That's what it is. This is Gary Gelby and Jason Klausman. We're here at the 18-man Tag Team Battle Royal, the Spectacular, the second annual Superstar Spectacular. 18 men in here. This is like 2 baseball teams. Unbelievable.
It's a good analogy. 2 baseball teams.
What do you have to say about that last match? So, Bobby, what do you have to say about that last match?
Well, I'll tell you, you were talking earlier in that match about the tapes being viewed. Well, they're definitely going to be viewed after that ridiculous call by that referee.
Well, I don't know Rick Pitts right now. He's not even in the ring in this one. He's just standing by
in the ring all
aimlessly.
night.
So it is an over-the-top rope battle
royal.
royal.
Here, 18 guys in there. It's like 2 baseball.
But you have to
teams
hit
having
the
a
floor.
melee. All we need is a pitching
So-
mound.
Yep.
Oh, somebody's getting thrown out. And Vader, one of those guys, getting thrown out. Now they're throwing out
Goodbye.
Ace. No, Deuce got thrown out.
Steve went out real early.
Over the top. Yeah, well, it took several men to gang up on him.
Another guy's thrown out.
There's Terry
Barty,
Kosnapple. Kelsey just
he's
put him
out
over
of
the
it.
top rope, and then Terry's trying to
Well,
get back
you
in the
know,
ring.
You know, this is another thing about these battle royals. I want to make my statement right now. My men have to come in there and wrestle after a big match, and here comes the battle royal. Big money on the line. Of course they were knocked out.
Well, that's part of the thing with the wrestling schedule. They're supposed to be.
But Terry Kosnapple, it's kind of funny. He doesn't hit the floor, so he just keeps going back in.
Yeah,
think
it's a
that's funny.
conspiracy against my team. They booked them in
Yep.
the final match.
See, this is where we kind of,
the two clowns
out of
that
all the
got
matches
there,
on
you
this
don't
show,
see them
this
in the
Battle
match after
Royal
getting whipped and beat, do you?
There's too many people I
is
can't see, but I don't believe they're
not
there.
the way.
Don't believe
I
they're
mean,
there.
we
Well,
should
I
have
can tell you
planned
right now
this
they're
thing,
not there. They
Dave.
never even
It
showed
should have been
up.
planned
Yeah.
They're
better.
still licking their wounds in the
I mean,
locker room.
not just the finish
But
that
my
didn't go
men
the way it
were
was supposed to,
scheduled
but
come out for this
the Battle Royal itself.
They
We should
were
have had
all-
some really
The
good
last
spots
thing
of
the
people
viewers at
getting
home
thrown
saw is
out
you're
really
entering
good,
into a
that
classic,
kind of
Bobby.
thing.
But right now we got action going
Yeah.
on.
And
A couple guys are already thrown out. And Vader
I don't
Free's
think
out,
it really
Deuce is
happened
out.
in this like it could have.
I think Ace is out.
Because what you end up
Stenson's
happening,
still in.
I guess we'll start to
Mystery
talk
Man's
about
still
it.
in.
That match.
Crusher Crossen's still
Thandar
in.
the Barbarian, along with Jerry,
Macho Man's still
his
in.
cousin,
I'm gonna be leaving here now
and
because
his
my men are
stepbrother
out
or
of it,
whatever,
unfortunately, because
that
of
was
this
just, I didn't know
phony
why he was
schedule.
in
But I
there.
want to tell you one thing, and I'm going to make a bar
They
right now.
decide they're
Yeah.
going to just take over this Battle Royal. So they start muscling their way through everybody.
I'm going to see to it. Goodbye.
And as a result,
There
it
you have it,
looks
folks. Beautiful Bobby Ferrari with the
didn't
last
go as
words.
planned.
Thanks for
Even
your
a lot of the
commentary,
people
Bobby.
getting thrown out
Now we're
weren't
back
going
with
as
Jason
planned.
Klausman. Jason Klausman, this is Gary Gelb.
I think it was supposed to come down
Channel 33.
the way it was
All right, here we
supposed
go.
to come
All
down
right,
to was
we're
going to
on.
be
Okay.
Unbelievable action going on. It's just too much.
I think
to
it was
describe. It's
myself.
just
It's
utter
supposed to be
chaos
getting.
and
Well, I'll
mayhem.
wait till we get to it and I'll
Never
explain
seen
it
anything
more.
like it in my life.
Yeah.
This is a riot, Jason.
Yes. Perfect way to describe it.
Downey
And I'll
Brook
tell you some of the
riot.
back
You
thing
pick your
stories that
adjective.
were
This
going
is
on.
crazy.
Remember I told you John Hoffman was in
Okay,
Golden
so
Gloves
he's
boxing?
Silence.
There
Yeah.
you see an entire outlook of
John
this
wasn't
total
afraid
war
of
going
anybody,
on between the
not even
Nationalist and
Thandar.
Federation.
Oh, big blow. Oh.
And John seen what
Big
was
forearm.
happening in the back.
Oh, now they got
Another
Yeah.
And
Mystery
he's
Man,
like,
he's
let's
thrown
go
down,
in
but he's
there
got
and
his
let's
spike gloves
let's
on.
take care of
Somebody
this.
take his
They were
spike
going to come
gloves
in and
off,
they were
and
going
Mystery
to
Man,
clean
you can really
house,
kill somebody with those.
and they came out just a little too late.
Dr. Destruction is out of the ring, and he seems to have hurt his back.
But we'll talk about that as we get
Sanderson
closer.
and Mr. Macho, they're getting ready.
And by the way,
Sanderson's
guys,
getting on top of the top
I'm not
rope.
going to give away. I want people to see what
Whoa,
happens.
second.
So
Off the top
we'll
rope,
talk
Mr.
about some of the
Macho's wrestling
aftermath
him.
and what's been said since.
Unbelievable action here.
And here
But there,
we
that
have-
guy in the Motley
who
Crue
is
shirt or
this?
whatever,
Here
that's
we have Mr.
Tim,
Here we have,
that's
one of the
Thandar's
Destructors
stepbrother,
with
right,
Mr.
Dave?
Macho.
Half brother.
Half-brother.
Big
drop.
shot to the groin. Oh.
Leg drop. Oh.
Sorry, I
Down
knew
to 6 wrestlers. who
Thandar
started
and I
with
were
18.
friends long
Chelsea in
before.
conference with one of the
the NWF.
Destructors.
Oh,
Yeah.
what a cutoff. Oh, boy.
And you see how
Crossen
Thandar just
was
cut
getting
me
ready
off
to
in that?
take
That's
on
where I
Conan,
knew something
and
was up,
Tommy
because
Tyler
he did
blindsided
not
him on the
play.
fly-through.
That was very stiff.
Brilliant move, may I add. Brilliant move.
So I knew something was up here. And it
and
was supposed to
Tom
get down to
Tyler going
myself,
after Mr. Macho.
Kelsey, and
Macho holding
Macho.
on.
That's what we were supposed to
Oh, I
get
do
down
not
to.
know.
And these three decide they're going to just take over this battle royal. So they're trying to get me out, but I don't hit the floor.
Beautiful move by Crossen to stay. Now he's going at Tommy Tyler.
But the minute I try to go after any one of them, they all three come after me.
I have no idea, to tell you the truth.
Macho's sitting there in the ring. He's like, and he's telling me right there. He goes, "What are they doing?" We're talking right there. I remember Macho saying, "What are they doing?"
Going against Conan.
And so we realized that something's going on here.
And Conan takes on Mr. Macho. They lock up.
See, so they get
with that Motley Crue shirt makes me think of next Thursday.
Yeah.
Crossen's really fighting on the ropes.
But as you can see, they're not. They're kind of they're taking over this battle royal, or attempting to.
Everybody's just watching, going, "Okay, what's going on here?"
Yep.
I can't see how
And the guys in the back, like I said, John Hoffman and company, all those guys, they figure it out after a while. They realize something's not going right here. And they'd all planned to come out and rush the ring. And they were gonna take care of business.
He's pushing Macho back in.
But that'd have been something. What's that?
Old school style.
Yeah, old school style. But they got out a little late to do it. You can see the mobile van there. A good shot of it. Backed into the armory.
Wrestlers who got thrown out back in this thing. There's 4-man war going on the floor that we're taking a look at right now. Now a 5th guy joins in. No, don't hit our monitor. No.
Get him out of here.
Gotta save this TV stuff, man.
Get him out of here.
And they have a camera on top of that mobile van. That's what gives it that nice bird's eye view.
I'm doing what I can to protect our monitor.
In all these matches.
People like Cable TV North Central.
So now they're taking Macho out. He wasn't supposed to go out.
All this stuff to us. We got to protect it with their lives.
And now we know what. Now I know we're screwed. So I'm in the corner just trying to say. What I'm thinking is, what are you guys doing? I'm thinking to myself, why are you doing this?
Well, we're gone. 4 guys left.
And I can tell you part of why Tim was like this.
We do not know his
because Mr. Macho invited Jerry and myself, and I think Steenerson out to dinner for a steak dinner. He didn't invite Tim.
Yes.
Can you imagine how Tim felt?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that's why Tim was so angry, because he felt left out.
He's a fresh wrestler. He's a big guy too,
and rightfully so, really.
In street clothes with the Motley Crue T-shirt on.
But he shouldn't have done this.
They're going against Crossen. What?
And so I just keep fighting to stay in there as long as I can. And that's John Hoffman years later said to me, he goes, "You know, Crusher, we watched you just kept fighting and staying in there, taking, holding yourself up to all 3 of these guys." He goes, and I told John, I said, "John, I think it was kind of embarrassing for me. I felt the Battle Royal looked like crap." And John's like, "Nah, you're being too hard on yourself. You were really being valiant." John looks at it differently.
Yeah.
But, I'm just trying to survive.
These three.
But I do realize at some point that they're just not going to let me win. That was a very stiff shoulder, by the way. Very unlike Jerry.
Yeah. Jerry was usually real.
Very mellow.
Conan with the forearm.
Again.
I do remember having some words with Jerry. Because, we did.
And here he is on the ground.
We're real nice with him. And, he went out there this nice to Jerry, really? And I think Jerry felt. I could tell by the look on Jerry's face that he felt bad for what he did, even that night.
Yeah.
When I talked to him.
Remarkable.
Tim,
Absolutely.
at this point in time,
He
he had no remorse.
Nope.
In fact, words were shouted. They almost got into it to the locker room, him and Hoffman. It got ugly. And Tim had to be escorted out of there with his family. Like, they had to get him out of there. He was so hot-headed.
Unpredictable the way it is.
And that was Tim. I mean,
that was Tim.
Tim could be the nicest guy you ever met,
He's still in the ring.
or he could be a major hothead.
And
they're going. Oh,
just so everybody understands,
Tommy Tyler really beat
Ken,
him.
about, I don't know, I think it was back in 2015 or
Crossen
2016.
took a blow in the gut, blow in the back
Tim
of
and
the
I
head.
talked.
we
talked about this for the first time.
Crossen needs to get some
And Tim
offense and take one of
humbly
these guys
apologized for this whole thing.
If I were
Yeah.
him, I'd go after Conan,
Well,
try to
Tim
get
has
Conan
mellowed
out
out
of the
over
ring,
the
take
years.
down Motley Crue
So
and
he
Tommy Tyler
really,
from
for
Texas
him
City,
to come to
Texas.
me that many years later, and he came to me
World champion.
Yeah.
and apologized,
They're trying to flip me over.
says a lot. That it's still on his mind and he wanted to get that
You
off his
saw it on the
chest.
shot right there. He stayed.
He is out.
Now
he
he's
is out.
But that was
At that
interference
point,
by
I just
Mystery
felt this
Man.
has gone on long
I
enough.
don't know what the ref will say.
I just had to get out of there.
How can we have
Yep.
3 men winning a battle royal?
That's Tim, the guy we're talking about.
Right now,
in
Rick
the,
Pitts is saying that the champions are Conan,
You know, Thandar,
Motley Crue,
Tom Tyler,
and
whatever he
Tommy
goes
Tyler.
by.
And Jason, you asked a good question. How can 3 men win a battle royal?
Truly remarkable. Truly.
Sky Sports, they just about. That's why you've seen the Mystery Man. So,
He hasn't known much thus far.
I'm sorry, wrong one. Sky Sports says, how did all the other wrestlers not come out by this point? You've seen the Mystery Man and the Distractors just come out right as I got thrown out of the ring. They were ready to rush the ring.
Motley Crue jumped out of the ring, Conan jumped out of the ring, and the Ultimate
But they just
Champion
made
from
it a hair
Texas City,
late.
Texas is
Yep.
the new tag team
I don't know
champion.
what that. I don't know how that would have went, Dave. That would have been ugly, is what that would have been.
Yeah.
If they got in there.
Because the whole Holland family has a reputation for being scrappers.
Yeah, and so did the Hoffmans and them guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would have been very
Well,
interesting.
sorry for not plugging John more, but like I said,
Well, you
I
knew
knew
Tim. Yeah.
I knew Tim. I knew the family. I mean, I knew aunts and uncles, and Tim and I had been longtime friends.
And John was a nationals champion in Golden Gloves boxing. Don't underestimate his wiry, skinny looking look. He could definitely hold his own.
At the Anoka Armory with
So yeah, that
the
just
second
would have been
annual
ugly, Dave, is what it would have
Spectacular, where it just ended in fine fashion, where we had
It
the
would have been
18-man
bloody.
tag team spectacular, ending with Tommy Tyler as victor. We're going to have a chance to look at that in instant replay, which we can go to right now, hopefully.
Gary was great. I wish we would have got him to do it more with us. I think he had fun too. He enjoyed it.
Wrestling here in the
Yeah.
NWF.
I think he was going off to
Here we go
college,
with a
and
throw
so
out
he
of
had some
Crusher
other things
Crossen
going
by
on.
Conan, Tommy Tyler, and Motley Crue, the unknown wrestler.
So what I did
And
when
there
they
goes Crossen out of the
actually
ring.
this wasn't
He's
the
back
right
in, and he's
replay.
almost going to be thrown out.
I think they got the
He
wrong
does
clip.
eventually get thrown out here by the 3, and that gives the victory to
Yeah, I don't think they have
Tommy
it.
Tyler.
But what I did is Mystery Man pulled me out, if you notice, and that's why I felt it gave it some justice. Like Mystery Man interfered.
Here, no. Okay, that was
Yeah.
the recap of that. And right now we're
To
going
give
to
it
do
some
a taped
justice.
interview that happened just a short while ago. So if we can roll that, please. We're not going to do that right now. We've got an interview coming on with fabulous Bobby Ferrari and
Beautiful
Ace
Bobby
and Deuce.
Ferrari.
They've been waiting here anxiously. We can shoot the camera over there. They're getting ready for the big interview.
Men that come to main attraction tonight. I just want to say one thing. We won 3 straight rounds in this tournament to have it all come down to this. My men, look at these men. They beat everybody, and then it comes down to this with a hokey pokey referee who ripped them off.
Now remember, folks, that's Ken Boyer,
You know, we wrestled in the Forum in LA.
the one that was our
Madison Square
commentator.
Garden, Boston Square Garden, or Boston, wherever it is. We come to this hick town. They got a ringer referee that costs us a championship. We're not going to put up with it. We're never coming to this frozen wastelands again, right, Ace?
That's right.
Of course, that's Pretty Boy.
Wastelands or not, we're out of here. Now, I'll let you know one thing. I've never, ever, in the League of Professional Wrestling, no matter where I've been, had an upset and a fluke of a referee who doesn't know nothing of what rules are meant to be in a squared circle.
This guy was constantly getting in the way, tripping my men, and they had the foreign object up.
Oh, shut up, Bobby. Shut up, man. Get the camera back on me. Get the camera back on me. I've had enough of Bobby Ferrari and Ace and Deuce. Now we're going to have a little...
Going back.
Shut up for once, all right, Ace?
Savannah, where they know how to treat champions like champions deserve, with a little bit of respect. We're gone, and if you want to see us again, you have to pay good money.
Well, there goes Ace and Deuce, and it's about time,
man.
guys. Thanks for keeping the masks on. Now it's time to give you a
Gary's
summary
great.
here of the CWF Championship and the NWF Championship, all the wrestling that's happened here at the Anoka Armory. And the first match
Gary
was
just
the
basically does a
CWF
recap.
Championship match between Invader 4 and Disco Kid. Invader 4 beat Disco Kid by a pin. Second match was the feature match between Tommy Tornado and Bulldog and the Destructors. Tommy Tornado and Bulldog beat the Destructors on a DQ to win the feature match. The third match faced Ice Dragon and Mystery Man in a tag team against Invader 3 and White Ninja. Ice Dragon and Mystery Man.
See how professional Gary was, Dave?
Yep. Kelsey beat Crusher
very,
Crossen.
very professional.
Tom and Jerry Tyler beat Mr. Macho and Slick Stinson.
Taking notes.
And Tommy Tyler won.
You know, he interviewed me before the whole show. That's why he had all those insights about what the ring was made out of and all that stuff.
TV North Central. Thank you very much for joining us.
He had all that background and all the guys because he wanted to know all the insights and details. And I had to write all this out for Gary. He was very, very, he wanted to be very prepared, you know?
Exactly.
So Greg Bushman, he's the one that's part of this, you know, this B&D Productions. These are all of his crew that he had on there. A lot of guys. And then we have our NWF staff. Now you notice that the producers are Troy Steenerson and Mike Whaley. I'm the promoter, and I'll explain what that is all about. And Mike Whaley was the matchmaker. So the reason that Troy and Macho are producers is they funded the show. They came up with the down payment for the Armory. That's who the producer is and the producer. They're funding it.
Yep.
I'm the one that promoted it. I did all the promotion of it, getting the word out there, getting the advertising, all that stuff. So, and then matchmaker was Mike Whaley. He decided the matches. Mike was the booker. He booked it.
Yep.
So I'm just kind of explaining like what our roles were. But I own the ring. So the NWF promotion was still me. It was my promotion. But these Mike and Troy funded it. You know, they put the money up for the Armory. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that makes total sense.
Yeah. And so that's kind of why the credits were like that. Just want to explain that. And I'll tell you another thing that's not talked about. Scott and Statzler and Greg Bushman, we put up $500 of direct advertising on cable television for this show, which was a lot of money back then.
Right.
And Greg and Scott put the money up. And my deal with them is I said, you know, guys, I think this is going to do really well. If we do this advertising package, we can put our commercials right in AWA, right in the WWF, right in WCW on their wrestling shows. I think that would do really well for us, not knowing the NWA was coming to town the same night. Right.
Yep.
So we did that direct placement. We had our ads run on these shows and pretty much the northern half of the metro and all those cable systems. And which is why we had the crowd we did. But it would have been, if the NWA wasn't in town, Dave, we would have had a lot more people showing up. I know it. I've had people come up and tell me afterwards.
Yep.
You were one of them, you know?
Well, I would have probably been booked on the show.
Well, you'd been on the show. I mean, I'm just saying, but who knows how many other people. So it's like, that was just horrible timing. But so Greg and Scott put that money up, and then they would be able to, the deal was we would give them a 100% return on their money, because I knew the numbers we could bring in, and I know we could afford to pay them back if it would have been one of our big shows, big
Right.
turnouts. But it didn't happen because the NWA was in town, and Scott and Greg didn't get their money back. You know, we barely had enough money to pay for the event,
right,
to cover the costs, and so it was just a bad situation. But Scott and Greg knew that was a gamble they could, would take. Just sucked that it happened that way, But yeah. But that was the things I was trying to do. I was just that was the first time I advertised on All-Star and on ESPN Championship Wrestling. I think it was WWF Primetime at the time.
Yep. And
WCW, World Championship Wrestling on Saturday nights. I advertised right on them programs.
Well, if not for that advertising, you might not have had the crowd that you had.
I don't know if anybody would have been there. We might have had 10 people like Larry did.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? And remember, our show was also, we were off the air for a few months here because of Steve and Larry taking the ring and stuff. We weren't.
You didn't have a place to tape shows or.
Yeah, so we kind of lost a little bit of our weekly momentum from the cable show. But hey, 70 people, still not a bad crowd. I mean, that's nothing to be
Hey, there's
shameful
indie
for.
promotions that would love to have 70 people show up.
Right. Wayne says too, great work by Gary. Yeah, he really, I think Gary really gave us a good image on that as a commentator and everything. He really
I
gave
totally agree with that.
Yeah, he gave us a nice professional look to the whole thing. Out of all that show, the only thing I think that is just a kind of a wrestling wise was a black eye was that battle royal.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's all the matches were pretty solid as far as as far as old school style type of wrestling matches. I think they're pretty good. That battle royal was a mess though. There's no doubt about it. But
I would have to agree.
You know what? You get it complete, unedited, the way it was. Not for the DVD. The DVD was very, very edited out for that one. Just because, obviously, we at the time with the DVDs, I wanted to make it a little bit more exciting. So that battle royal would have been a downer if it had to be shown like that.
Right.
So,
well, I'm going to be honest. I can't wait to see the October because I know things that happen that aren't on the DVD.
Right. The only thing I'll tell you this much: I've already captured and renovated a lot of the footage for these armories. What we just seen there, the last armory, that restored pretty good. The one that restored the worst was the first one.
Right.
The 86, the May card. For whatever reason, it's just because of the camera shots being so far away, and it just got it just didn't get it cleaned up, but it just didn't get a nice, the video is, it was too dark.
Well, with that first show, you were trying to figure out lighting and everything else.
The October card cleans up nice. The only problem is it's dark.
Yeah.
And I can brighten it up only so much without it not looking good. Surprisingly, the July card cleaned up really well. The one that was kind of dark. I think it was the darkest one out of all of them. But because that show is the raw tape, it's not edited. It's the actual tape that was recorded on. That makes a big difference. So that cleaned up really nice. So, but you're right. Like seeing October without any edits, seeing everything, all the matches without any edit points and stuff. Getting to see the Thandar turn on Conan.
Yep.
Yep.
Crusher, we were talking today, but you never told me what you have coming up next week on Forward.
Oh, with Forward, yes. So I have a guest coming up on Forward. We're going to be visiting with Northern Ireland Professional Wrestling again. Only this time it's going to be with, and I got a thing for it here. Let me pull it up so everybody can see. This is what we're going to have on Forward next Thursday. Actually, it's not going to be Thursday. I had to make a change on this, Dave. I'll be going I'm going on Wednesday next week. Get the graphic up. We're going to be talking to John McCann, NIPW's Irish grappler. He is Ricky's best friend, Ricky Henry. John is just a year or two older than Ricky, and they have had amazing matches with each other. And John is excellent in his own right. I mean, he's a great. You talk about a nice, complete package in development here with John. He is really. I see a lot of talent with this guy, and we were going to go Thursday, but he's got a prior commitment now that he can't do it. So he asked if we could move it. And I said, how is Wednesday working? He says he can do Wednesday. So we'll just be doing Wednesday instead of Thursday, a little bit earlier as well, because they're in Ireland, right? Different time zone. But we're going to show some of his matches. We're going to talk to him in depth about what he's doing and how it's been. And this guy here, John McCann, he started when he was 14. We got some of that footage as well. So we'll show you what he was like when he first started as well. You talk about a transformation, Dave. The way he looked physically in the beginning and what he looks like now.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty impressive, actually.
And then in 2 weeks, you and I are back here.
Yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks, and I don't have any thumbnail for it, but we're going to be going to our first restored show out of the dry dock.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And then after that show, we're going back to the beginning. We'll be going to Group W cable and working our way up again.
And then 3 weeks from now, if I'm not going to say too much, but if what you were talking about is pulled off for forward, I hate to burst your guys' bubble, but that Thursday I may just have to show up.
Yeah, Dave is really impressed. He wants to be on that show, but we'll leave that in the dark for that guest coming up on forward. Because I don't even have all the details yet, but it should be a fun show.
What you should do is you should talk to that trainer and see if he will do a video promoting that forward show.
Well, I mean,
play on Rewind.
Maybe, but you hate to inconvenience these guys because they're busy,
Oh, I know.
And they're taking the time out to come on the show is enough for me. But yeah, so it's going to be a new organization. So it'll be very interesting. I'm very curious, and there's should be a good guest too.
And it's a company that's going to be here in the States.
Yep, United States organization.
And as Crusher said, I am very impressed with the guest.
Yep, it's got Dave's attention. So yeah, we're going to have everybody in suspense, and I like that. So we'll have to see what they think.
Can I throw out a little bit of a teaser?
Nope, no teasers, Dave. No teasers. We have to leave them in suspense because I don't have the details yet.
Well, I'm going to throw just a little teaser out. Just a little. If everything works out right, as Crusher talked to me about it this morning, in 3 weeks on this show, we will have former.
No, it's not 3 weeks. Remember, forward goes every other week, so it's going to be
right.
It's going to be.
So we do a show. You're doing forward next week.
Yeah.
Then we got Rewind in 2 weeks. Then the following
week. I
week,
guess you're right. It is 3 weeks. Yeah, never mind.
We will have a former TNA World Tag Team Champion on this show if everything works out right.
Yeah.
And that's as much of a teaser as I'm going to give.
So yeah, it'll be but like I said, my whole point
in the negotiation phase.
But remember, though, forward's all about promoting the young rising stars in this business, and that's why this person is coming, because they have a young star that they've been working with, and that's who we're really going to be showcasing. So, and that's what forward's all about, showing the new talent coming into professional wrestling. Now, Rewind, we look back at our stuff. Forward, we're looking ahead at some of these other young kids now and teens, getting
who in
started
10 years you may see.
Yep. And
in the
who
big
knows?
companies.
Who knows where they're going to come? Let's talk a little bit about Ricky Henry, aka the Canary Kid. Sky Sports mentioned at the beginning of the show, or Gizmo, that he got all over me for. In fact, let me find that comment. How did he word that? He said. Let's see. He says this. Gizmo says, Canary Kid went off on Crusher and started putting him down for asking a stupid question. It was funny and showed Ricky's personality. Let me tell you this much. Ricky Henry made a lot of claims there about Crusher Crossen and that little bit there that Gizmo's talking about. He's lucky Crusher Crossen's retired, because the last person that said stuff like that about Crusher Crossen's still 6 feet under pushing up daisies. Okay? So, but he's a young kid. Dave, you said it yourself. We'll get in trouble if we go after these youngsters.
Exactly.
So it would be hurting a minor. I can't do that to Ricky Henry. I like him too much. So.
And that's the thing. We want to promote these young kids, nourish their love for the sport.
Yeah. Nah, I joke with Ricky. He knows how I feel about it, about his whole, what he did. We talked about it even more so after that. And look, I think, Canary Kid, I think he just needs to, he's still kind of developing his character and his personality, and he's trying to find a mold for how he wants to do his style. And that's really what we're seeing there. And I think it's great. If you guys haven't seen the Kayfabe with Keaton shows, you got to check them out. Some of these shows are pretty good.
Yep.
And that was a good one that we had there with Ricky Henry. In fact, our guest we got coming on, but everybody, on the next Kayfabe with Keaton, which is going to be not this Sunday, but next Sunday, is Joe Cabret. I mean, or is it? Let me see here. I'm trying to think if I have a thumbnail for it. I thought I did. Oh, I'm in the different studio, so I don't have it in this one. But I think I do. I'm going to bring it in quick because this is worth seeing. I just go to my layers. I will show you. Here we are. Is that coming up? You see that?
Yep.
Joe Cabret, the architect of OTT Wrestling, live for September 1st. This is going to be on the Kayfabe with Keaton show. And this guy's like, he's a former WWE talent guy. So I'm really looking forward to having this. This is going to be a fascinating conversation. And OTT, just so you guys know, in Ireland, that's the biggest wrestling promotion in Ireland right now. So it's a big deal. So I think it's the biggest guest Keaton's had yet. So it should be a great conversation. Looking forward to that one.
Big things coming on all shows.
Yeah. So yeah. So what'd you guys think? Did you like Superstars 87? That was our last Armory. That was our final one. It's hard to believe, Dave, after that show, it would be 20 years before wrestling ever went back to the Anoka Armory. Give or take.
Yeah.
It's a long time with no wrestling at the Anoka Armory. And then we did like 5 or 6 shows there, right? So pretty incredible stuff. But I think it was a good show.
Oh yeah.
Still like this. I still like that show. It was a good show. We did good on that one with the mobile van. I wish we would have had that mobile van earlier though, for the other shows.
It would have been nice.
Yep. But I suppose we're well past our time here tonight, guys. This is a long one. These Armory shows always take a little extra time.
And thank you, Damien, for
thank you,
saying
Damien.
that it was a great show. Sorry you had to put up with me again tonight, but that's the breaks with Rewind. You're almost always guaranteed Dixie Dave.
And just to Gizmo's point, if you hadn't seen Kayfabe with Keaton, remember you can go to our live tab and you can watch it still. So you can see that show. You can see Ricky Henry coming out of his shell. It was great. Canary Kid getting out of that nest, I guess you could say, starting to spread those wings. He was really coming into full character, and it was great. So.
And that's the nice thing about our shows. Yep. That's the nice thing about Forward is it lets these kids get some promo experience.
Mm-hmm.
It lets them develop their character a little bit outside of the promotion where they don't have a promoter saying, you have to be this character.
And you know what was good about Ricky, Dave? You know what he has the gift of? I hate to keep talking about him, but I'm gonna. He's got the gift to gab. He knows how to do a promo on the fly like the old days. The Bobby Heenan, Ric Flairs, right? He's quick-witted like that. He can really come off. And I told him, I said, Ricky, you got a real talent here. Because not a lot of guys can do that. be good at it. So yeah, so I was impressed. I think that kid's going places.
Well, it's like we've talked about before. When the 1, 2, 3 kid came into the show, came into PWA. Troy and I kind of looked at him and we were like, too small. He's not going anywhere.
Talking about Sean Waltman.
Yeah.
I mean, none of us, believe me when I tell you this, guys, none of us thought he was going to be a major star at that time. I mean, He wasn't bad, but he just wasn't. He didn't stand out as being small. Yeah, he was small, and it's just like, and it was still the mentality he had to be a big guy. So it's like, what really broke it for Waltman was when Razor Ramon put him over.
Yeah, that's what made Sean Waltman.
Yep, it really did.
Was Scott Hall putting him over.
Mm-hmm. And that didn't happen for a while. So the PWA days, Yeah. And I remember Troy was almost annoyed with him.
Almost annoyed with him? Come
Yeah,
on.
I mean, he kept calling, wanting to get in the ring and use the ring, and it was bugging. Troy, that always bothered Troy. Troy was very
Troy was selective on who he'd let in the ring.
exactly. Yeah, he babied that ring really.
I mean, I had to fight to be able to get in that ring.
Yep. Oh, Sky Sports. Before we sign off here, says, Crusher, I would love to see you clip his wings when he goes into one of those acts. Yeah. Well, it's on Keaton's show. I try not to be. If that was forward, I would have got into it with him and had fun. But I try to let Keaton drive the ship on Keaton's show. I'm the sidekick there, so I don't try to take it over or really get into it.
Right.
So, yeah. But it was great. It was great. We had a great show, and we had a lot of fun with it. And Keaton, I tell you something. One of the things Keaton and I are talking about doing is a live stream at one of their house shows where Keaton will do the play-by-play and actually will stream it live and do like a live show. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And if we do it from their Lion's Den dojo, that would basically be, they do them on Saturdays, and that would basically be a Saturday afternoon show here in the U.S. live, be in the afternoon.
Right.
Yeah, so that might work out all right, actually. But anyways, we've been on long enough, guys. I know we gotta hit the hay here.
You've had to put up with me for 2 hours already, 2+ hours. Yeah. We're sitting at 2.5 hours that you put up with me.
Yeah, this is a long one for us. But I wanna thank all of you guys for tuning in. It means a lot to Dave and I when you guys are here to talk. It does. It's just fun.
I mean, from the heart, you guys. Without you guys,
yeah,
we're just two idiots sitting here rambling.
I mean, granted, we get a lot of people to watch this in replay. It'll go out and, these shows always, 2, 3, 4, 500 views. But to have you guys, even if it's a few of you here talking with us live, I love it. It makes our day. So
exactly. I mean, we love interacting with you guys. And to all of you who watch this in replay, come join us live. Get in the chat. Get in the conversation. We are literally live with real questions.
And we take your questions and we take your comments. And there's no, I do have guys out there monitoring stuff. So, if people do talk goofy, that ain't going to make the cut. But, normal stuff.
Legitimate questions will come to us.
Yep. So, yeah. So, like Dave said, join us live. It's fun. We have a lot of fun talking to everybody.
I mean, it's a blast being in here with everybody. I mean,
yep. And I'm looking forward to John McCann next. Remember, I'll be on Wednesday, not Thursday next week. Wednesday with John. It's gonna be a great show there. Get to learn a little bit more about him.
And you won't have to put up with me that Wednesday because I'm otherwise occupied with a family event.
Yep. And like Dave said, in 2 weeks, it's going to be the dry dock, first show on the dry dock. And dry dock was fun. Dave and I are trying to see, we're trying to maybe see if we can get Jeff Dinsmore and Jamie McParland to join us to have the 4 of us for that show. Just because this is the show that Jamie always talks about with me against him. It's that show. So it's got Crusher Crossen against Jamie McParland, and it's his favorite match of all time. So if he could be on,
you won't be able to really hear it on the audio from what Crusher's told me.
Yeah, the booze. When I restored it, I had to take my music out, and it kind of took the booze out too. Sorry, Jamie. So the booze aren't there for me, but you still hear him at the end. I think you hear him at the end. I still got booed at the end of the match, so they're there. That's
Jamie's infamous Crusher. You got booed.
Yeah. I'll never forget it, guys. Our dry dock had this little tiny room, kind of the back room area. It was small. You're almost shoulder to shoulder in there. It's like sardines. And when I came back and Jamie came up and he's like, "You got booed." And he started laughing. And I'm like, oh, Jamie, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill this kid. Get him out of here. Get him out of here, Jeff.
And you know, I haven't really had a lot of chance to hang out with Jamie and talk with him. You know, his life is busy, my life is busy. But back in the day, Jamie was a very animated character.
Oh yeah, full of energy, bundle of energy. What you see is what you got.
Yeah.
Like with that whole performance he did in Brooklyn Park, going crazy outside the ring before he joined the show, that was Jamie McParland.
Yeah.
And great guy. Great guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We can't put Jamie over enough. I mean...
Nope. No, he was...
I
funny.
appreciate...
You know what's funny about him? He thinks he's not that good. He was so much better than he thinks.
Yeah.
Wait till you see this match. Oh, you know what? I forgot, you guys. Holy cow. I got to play this day before we go. I always play the preview of the show that's coming up on the network. It's in the show we're talking about right now. Let me play the preview quick so everybody can see it. I forgot all about this. I mean, it's only 3 minutes. Let me play this quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another week of NWF National Wrestling Federation Professional Wrestling. Tonight we have a spectacular card lined up for you.
Rick Pitts
right
a
now,
couple weeks ago.
lock up with the Mystery Man and Ice Dragon. Mystery Man forcing Ice Dragon back into the corner and a series of forearm blows. Which, a reversal! And he has a Mystery Man in the corner, double teamed by the Ice Dragon. Here comes the Mystery Man, now retaliating. The scoop and the slam.
What's
He's
this?
up, the suplex, ow! The suplex to the mat.
What's this?
What
Atomic
is this?
drop.
Oh!
German suplex, belly to back suplex. And what Crossen's saying around with him, I don't know.
Whipped in, clothesline.
Oh my life.
To the crush. Holding the small of his back, I think he hurt it. Oh!
I give
What a
my
drop, what a drop.
I remember in my battles with Crossen, he always won because of his experience.
Wait, we have...
Not another.
The pile driver,
A forward pile driver?
They're piled into each other. Number one going in against Russian number one. Oh, obviously the big Russian not too agile. Commentator Jeff Dinsmore out to the ring. Wait a minute, here we have wrestlers coming in. There they go. Get the big Russians out.
Go ahead. Oh, heck, breaking loose.
What do they call Texas? The North Star State? Clothesline by Dr. Dread. Pretty Boy Taylor's chest. The scoop, spin around. Wait a minute, he knocked the ref. What happened to Rick Pitts? Wait a minute, we have the figure 4 leg lock. Look at this. Wait a minute, Dion Dallas. What is he doing? What is going on? Ring the bell.
I've got you at the end of this night. And believe you me, it's going to be a match of first blood.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it.
This is wild and heavy action tonight. Outlaw Dion. Yes.
But absolutely.
What is it tonight with these wrestlers?
I don't know. Outlaw Dion's more like a rattlesnake rather than a wrestler. Look at this boy. Wait a minute, too.
All right. Sorry, guys. I forgot to play that at the beginning of the show. I usually play those at the beginning, and Dave got me all flustered when he started talking about the event today, the Superstar Spectacular and everything. And
I apologize, Crusher. You know how I get about some of these shows.
But anyways, that's the preview. That's the next show going up on the network. That'll be let's say September 1st. So in about a week or so, that'll be added to the network, and that'll be our watch along that we do in 2 weeks. So, yeah. So, all right, guys, we went way over. We're going to sign off. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight, guys. Thanks for tuning in, like we said. And Dave?
We will see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yep. So have a good night, everybody, and thanks for sticking with us. If I can find the our ending credits. I lost them. They're here. There we go. We'll see you next week, folks.
Yep.